Hello and welcome to Nerds and Stuff. My name is Martin and tonight we are playing 10 Candles, created by Stephen Dewey. Before we get into the mayhem that will be this game, I'm going to have my players introduce themselves.
I'm Kathy.
I'm Sterling.
I'm Jenny.
And I'm Daniel.
And I'm Martin, but I already said that. So we'll get right into setting up our game. If you've never played 10 Candles before or heard about it, it is a improv-heavy tragedy horror role-playing system. It is very rules light. We have played this once before on the channel. Kathy will be joining us for her first time ever playing this game, but she is no stranger to role-playing, especially on this channel. So I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit about this game, and then we'll jump into it. The idea of 10 Candles is that 10 days ago, the entire world, the sky went black. It is not quite sure why this happened, or if this is a magical darkness or supernatural darkness or anything like that, but the skies went dark. 5 days ago, they came. Not much is known about them. The two things that is that they seek the darkness because they are afraid of the light, and they are hunting us. And they will be the main antagonists for our evening tonight. This game does not define them. In fact, my friend Kathy here will be helping define the enemy, them, before we begin, and throughout the course of play, we'll be defining them as we go. So 10 days ago, the sky went dark. 5 days ago they came. Today we are still alive. Time is running out. We must seek shelter, keep moving, and never give up hope. Now with 10 Candles, this game, all of the players come into the game knowing that their characters are going to die. This is a tragedy horror role-playing system. My players know that their characters are going to die. But this isn't a game about death. This is a game about life and what's worth fighting for and what's worth dying for. So we're going to begin character creation. This should take about 20 minutes or so. It's been a little bit time since we played, so we'll just kind of go through it as though we haven't played on the channel before, in case you haven't seen the other video. We'll go through so you get a good instruction on how to create characters and the idea of the game, and then I'll leave a time marker up above that will let you know when the actual story begins. We do have the lights on right now, and we have some candles in front of us. As we do character creation, we'll be lighting these candles, and when we finish character creation, we'll turn off the lights, and we'll be playing by only candlelight for the rest of the game. Now, that doesn't make exciting video, but it does make pretty good storytelling and atmosphere for us to play. So, without further ado, I think we're going to begin, and I'm going to have Sterling light 3 candles. So while he's doing that, we're going to be making characters up on the spot. This is a zero prep system. I have not come to the table prepared with any sort of content. This is almost completely improv based. So we'll be making up the story as we go, feeding off each other what we establish as the narrative and stuff like that. So the first aspect of character creation is defining vices and virtues. So what I'm going to have you guys do is they've had some note cards set off to the side. At the top they've written vice and virtue on 2 separate note cards. We're going to grab those and we're going to define a vice and a virtue. Now we're going to start with virtues, and I'm going to cover them and give some examples. A virtue is something that helps your character in a time of need. It helps solve more problems than they create. It is something to kind of build off of, to embolden your character during the darker times, something they fall back on when they're kind of down and out of luck. Some examples of virtues are lucky, resourceful, watchful, merciful, daring, committed, handsome, hardy, subtle, streetwise, or strong. Those are just a few examples. You're going to write vice and go ahead and write nice and big. You can even use permanent markers if you want. Just make sure they're pretty emboldened. Write down one word. Keep it fairly ambiguous.
This is our virtue. Correct?
This is the virtue, yes. So this is something that solves more problems than it creates. It's something that is a positive role-playing attribute, something that you would like to see at the table to help embolden characters in tonight's tragedy. While they're starting out early, I'm just going to kind of preface a couple more things. One of the amazing parts about this game is that you can come into this game knowing very few of the rules, having it kind of explained to you. You guys pick a module as a group and go from there. This game is a D6 based system that starts out very easy for the players, very easy for them to kind of start out surviving and trying to figure out what's next for them. And as the game goes on, about the halfway point it starts to ramp up, stacking momentum against them as they play. The game is very much like an exponential curve, starting out very slow and then ramping up quickly before all the characters' deaths are realized. Alright, it looks like everyone has their virtues set up. I'm going to have you guys switch and do your vices as well. Now, vices are detrimental to a character. They are something that hurts them. They are something that tears them down, causes them to lose their cool. It creates more problems than they solve. Some examples are afraid, greedy, regretful, addicted, naive, controlling, worrisome, compulsive, claustrophobic, or rash. Think of qualities that would not be beneficial to have during an apocalypse setting, right? These are things that hold that person back during this frantic time in their life. All right. Now, for a bit of fun, at least for me, probably not for you guys, I'm going to have everyone take their vice in their left hand and their virtue in their right hand. I'm going to have you pass your vice to your left. You have now created an aspect of someone else's character. You're going to pass your virtue to the right, receiving your neighbor. These are two foundation attributes for your character now. In this game, you create some aspects of your character, but ultimately, because this is a cooperative story, we're defining elements of each other's characters as much as our own characters. We will be playing the module Adrift. This is a scenario found in the back of the 10 Candles rulebook. Adrift reads as follows. The cruise ship has been silent for 10 days. Silent save the occasional howl on the wind, and screams quickly silenced. The motors have gone quiet, and you have been adrift in the darkness. Backup energy and emergency lights held out for some time, but now even they have begun to fade. There were rumors of a secondary backup generator below deck, but with no one to activate it, the ship has been taken over by the night. Perhaps even more unsettling, however, is the fact that less than an hour ago, the ship's motors started to move once again. The ship is moving, but under whose control? You have barricaded yourselves in a cabin, and now the ship is turning off course, sailing into the unknown. If you could get to the backup generator, you may be able to retake the ship, maybe even send out a call for help. That is, if you move quickly enough, before your shadowed cruise arrives at its new destination. There are some areas of notes that we might touch on, that we might visit throughout our adventure tonight. Like I said, this is a completely improv-based game, so we'll be making up our scenes as we go. The areas of note are cabins, generator, radio room, bridge, and the island of Dark. The goal is to activate the generator and retake the cruise ship. That is the base for the Adrift. We'll be kind of making up our own story as we go, seeking out what opportunities the story and the narrative provide. Now that we've introduced the module, I'm going to have everyone create their character's concepts. On a separate card, this is the base character sheet for your character. On this card, it's going to have your character's name, your look, and your concept. The name is a basic name for your character. It could be something extravagant if you are an entertainer of sorts, on a cruise ship, of course. The look is what the camera sees. It's a very physical aspect of you. It's what other people look at and they see and they kind of judge you about. Then the concept is the kind of elevator pitch of your character, who you are, what you do, a basic sentence or two. Try not to think about this too much. Sometimes often naming your character might be the hardest. Don't overthink this, though. These characters will be gone by the night's end. And also, going forth with your character's description, take your vice and virtue and really press on those to see what your person is, what they do. We'll just take a quick moment to identify our vices and virtues. I'm going to have Kathy go first. So go ahead and tell us what your virtue is.
Virtue, street smart.
Okay. And your vice?
Selfish.
Okay, so you're trying to create a character, ideally, that is street smart but selfish. Someone who's very wise to the world, looking out for themselves, putting themselves first and foremost. And that could be a number of jobs across the board. And I'm more than happy to help you guys once we kind of go through. Sterling, virtue.
Virtue is loyal.
Okay.
Vice, worrisome.
So you're Han Solo, my dog.
Exactly, yeah.
Perfect. All right, Jenny.
My virtue is merciful, I
Okay.
can speak, and my vice is impulsive.
Wow, okay.
Crazy cat lady.
Nice.
I think of.
Crazy cat lady. I have to dog. Man, there's no cats on the cruise ship. I just brought mittens and whiskers, just two. You know how hard it was
I'm
to
allowed
get
two
down
personal items.
All right, and finally, Daniel.
I have a vice of afraid
Okay.
and a virtue of compassionate.
So while they're finalizing some aspects of their character, we light candles as we go. Here in a few seconds, we're gonna light 3 more. The candles create a sort of time limit for our game. The game will only last maximum as long as all the tea light candles stay lit. As this game goes on, we will be darkening candles until the very last candle remains lit. When the last candle is the only candle lit, we will enter a scene known as the Last Stand. In the Last Stand, each one of these players knows that their characters will die as part of the game mechanics, and they will create a hopefully powerful moment in their death scene. This game is about the darkness and the overwhelming odds that face people near the end of the existence of Earth, humanity, and so on. We'll be role-playing to kind of get towards the end and see where that takes us. We'll be going over some of the more mechanics as we play. Right now, we're just giving these guys some time to finish up their character concepts. Now that we have our character concepts defined, we'll go ahead and introduce our characters. We don't have to worry about the vice and virtues. I'm going to start with Kathy.
Alright, so do you want me to rename what?
Yep, just name what the camera sees and description.
Okay. So I will be playing Jay Brooks. She's wearing black slacks, a white blouse, black vest. She has hot pink hair, semi-visible tattoos, and piercings. She is a waitress on the ship. She grew up bouncing around in a foster care system, and she has really wanderlust. So.
Perfect. All right, let's hear Sterling's character.
Yeah, so I'm playing Mike Caraway. Mike is a real big, burly guy. Some might call him a little fluffy. He's got tribal tattoos on his arm, and it's really rare that you see him without a big old smile on his face. He is a galley cook, and he kind of has this thing that, like, everyone is his family, and he protects his family.
Perfect.
This
I
guy
got
sounds
2
like the
comments.
best friend ever.
First of all, is his favorite line "cause no trouble"?
It had better be. I'm just saying.
It is now.
Secondly, you never trust a skinny cook.
No,
Yeah,
never
Never
trust a skinny cook.
Yeah, perfect. Cause no trouble is from our Legacy of Ash campaign and other role-playing game tomfoolery here on the channel. Jenny.
So I'm playing Rachel Jones. She is tall, she has long blonde hair, she looks more like a barista. Your like typical barista when you go into Starbucks. But she's an EMT, and she bought her cruise ticket last minute on a dare.
Whoa.
And now she's here.
And none of her friends came with her on
None
the
of her,
dare?
no, she's all alone.
Bitches.
None of her friends came with her. She's the only one that bought it on
So,
the dare.
so am I correct in saying that Rachel sounds like a stereotypical basic bitch?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to... Barista, blonde hair, tall.
Yeah, she looks it, but she,
I
she
think I'm
can pull
going on
some
a cruise
information out
tomorrow.
sometime.
She has a wild side, but not nearly as much as Jay's.
No.
Yeah. Perfect. Daniel.
I'm playing Father David Thorne. He's kind of he's like a 90s dad.
Oh,
He's mid-40s. He's got a shirt tucked into his
of course he does.
shorts.
Still,
and
10 days into the apocalypse. his
knee-high
shirt's
socks
still tucked
into
in.
his tennis shoes.
Oh, jeez.
He's wearing sandals.
He's
might
cut
have rocked them,
loose.
but things have been a little crazy and he doesn't want to stub his toes.
Yeah, this is not his room. Yeah.
He can't find his room anymore.
The apocalypse hit and he grabbed his Bible and his,
And I put my shoes
his
on.
mouth sleep guard.
His nasal strips
Yes.
so he doesn't snore at night.
Look, Father David Thorne, he's got his priorities locked away. God bless him.
He's a devout man of God, and he tries to be. And yeah, he found himself on vacation.
Deal. Perfect. All right, so those are our characters for the evening. I will be playing the setting, them particularly, the antagonists, and helping these guys set up their characters to knock them down. So now that we have a basic idea of our characters and their concepts, Sterling, go ahead and pass the lighter to Jenny, and I'll have Jenny light 3 more candles. All right. While she's
Push up and then push the trigger.
while she's struggling with modern technology,
remember my first line.
I'm going to.
I did it
There
right
you go.
this
Yeah,
time.
there you go. Okay, everybody, go ahead and focus on your moment cards. The moment is going to be the most powerful. You gotta let it cook. It's just like a crack pipe, girl.
I heard
I
yell.
don't
I heard
know
yell at the
bagpipes
cook.
very well,
I was like, what has Mike done?
All right, so grab your moment cards, and now we'll be setting up moments. A moment is a moment in the campaign that you want your character to build towards. This is the moment in the story that might help them get hope in this dark, dark setting. This moment needs to be something that can pass or fail, depending on the dice. So a great example of this is, I will find hope when I see my sister again. I'll give you a couple more examples as soon as I found the page. I will find hope in a moment of prayer at a quiet location. I will find hope when one of them lies dead at my feet. I will find hope when the truth of the sky is revealed to me. I probably wouldn't pick that because we're on a cruise ship, not a science vessel or anything. I will find hope when I find my sister dead or alive. I will find hope when I find the contents of my stash. Or I will find hope when the fallout shelter's door closes. Now, these are generic samples from the book. These are moments that your character is kind of pushing towards. This is potentially the most powerful moment in the story for them, or if not, the second most powerful moment, second to only their death scene. Looking at your character concept, I want you to think of what your character... you're thinking of what your character is driving towards. This isn't survival. This is just a moment of quiet reprieve in the darkness. This is something that will boost their spirits and embolden them when everything else is going to hell. Everybody should kind of take a mental note, and I'm actually going to take actual notes of what these moments are. When these moments are at the top of a character's stack, everyone, including myself and yourselves, should be helping that character build towards that moment. So we'll start with Kathy. Kathy, what is your moment of hope?
I will find hope when I find the picture of me and my brother.
Okay, and then Sterling.
I will find hope when I protect a brother or sister.
All right, Jenny.
Mine says, I will find hope when I help or save someone.
All right, and Daniel.
I will find hope when I recognize the hand of God at work.
All right, so now we have our moments. We're going to light 3 more candles. Daniel, go ahead and light, leave me like this one so I can light that to finish. You got all nervous like this was dread. How are you like, I'm not going to knock over the tower. All right,
Please don't knock over a candle.
While Daniel's knocking, while he's lighting candles, lastly, the last aspect of our character cards that will define are brinks. Now, brinks are the moment of you breaking from your last iota of humanity into a kind of feral person. These are what you're capable of in your most low-down moment. On your brink card, I'm going to have the 3 of you write down something different than Kathy and I. I will actually write for a card on this one. For the 3 of you, you're going to write, I have seen you. Kathy, you're going to write, I have seen them. And I will be adding a card into the mix, writing, they have seen you. Do not let anyone see this when you're writing, by the way.
Are we writing for specific characters?
Yep, you are writing for Jenny. Jenny, you're writing for Sterling. Sterling, writing for Kathy. Kathy's writing for me. I'm writing for you.
Oh,
Clockwise.
great.
And try and keep it fairly basic. It could be something as simple as I have seen you murder.
Okay, I was
I
like,
have
need
seen
some
you
examples.
abandon. You can do fairly specific, but try not to do something so much that it just kind of pigeonholes them to that one thing.
Okay.
The more flexible it is, the better they have opportunity to work with. So these are the brinks. Brinks are generally a single word with a descriptive phrase to describe the brief explanation below. Work it out, make it dangerous, make it fun. The player to my right holds the power over establishing them. Like I said before, Kathy has written on her card, I have seen them blank. She is developing the first aspect of our antagonist that will be hounding these guys relentlessly. As she just said, I believe it was...
They're probably going to hate me.
They're probably going to hate me. That is the best thing a person who runs the game master, wants to hear, because it's her job to create something that's going to be fun to die to. Obviously, by the end of the game, everyone will die, so it's maybe a lot more fun to create something that's going to haunt you while you do it instead of something ridiculous and over the top or anything. So everybody go ahead and just pass these cards to the person next to you. Take a moment to review them. Alrighty. Yeah, 100%, yep. Now, when she establishes a aspect of them, it needs to be an identity, such as they are werewolves, they are zombies, they are robots. That's an identity of them. Or she could identify a power, such as, I have seen them go invisible, I have seen them drink blood, I have seen them be indestructible. Something like that to create a overwhelming power. The enemy in this game, the antagonist, needs to be unrelenting, but there is a few rules for them. They seek the darkness, they are afraid of the light, they are hunting the humans, and they are generally unrelenting. They came 5 days ago, and since then it's been one hell of an apocalypse. Cool, so we are moving right along. We've got our brinks set up. Okay, next we're going to arrange our stacks. You guys each have 4 fleshed out cards. Keep the brink face down. That will go at the bottom of your stack. That is the last card to be revealed for your character. Next, someone will pick, or the party can pick, whoever, I don't care. One person will start with their moment at the top of the stack. Only one person will start with their moment revealed. Who is that person? As a party, who do you want to see their moment happen as soon as possible? So while they're kind of deciding with secret eye looks or pointing fingers or whatever, I will say that...
You too.
If you are a fan of the other content on this channel, this video will have adult language, adult context, adult tones. We will use words from time to time. I hope it will not be excessive. It generally is not. So just fair warning that we will be fucking swearing from time to time.
Fuck. Shit. I gotta get them all out. Shit. I'm not gonna be swearing in game. Shit.
All right. Right. So who is the moment on top?
It's mine.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So everybody else, go ahead and bury your moment somewhere in your stack. You can either have a vice or virtue revealed on top. Doesn't make a big difference mechanically. It is no difference whatsoever. Role-playing wise, keep in mind that when you use this aspect of you, you will light it on fire and burn it away. But that doesn't mean that your character has lost being selfish or anything like that. It just means that you will not rely on that to get your ass out of trouble mechanically in the future. So arrange your stacks however you want. Just keeping in mind that you probably want your moment a little bit higher towards the top. Otherwise, the later in the game, the harder it is to achieve said moment. Cool. All right. So now that we have arranged stacks, I will light the final candle.
This is it, guys. Nobody gets out alive.
All right.
Spoilers.
We are going to turn off the lights and we're going to begin our game. Now that the lights are out, there's one last step before we begin our story. I have a tape recorder here that I will show near this candlelight, and each person will record their kind of last hurrah before they leave this cabin. Thematically, someone is leaving their cell phone behind on the cruise ship or something. Maybe the father has a personal note taker for ideas for sermons or whatever. We're going to be passing around this quarter, leaving our final goodbyes just in case we don't make it on our journey. This cruise ship has been a nightmare the last couple days. It's not odd to think that it won't be for the next few. So, our heroes, our protagonists got together and made a final goodbye message for their loved ones, for the world, in case they didn't make it.
Is this thing on? This is Father David Thorne of the Third Episcopal Church. I just want this message to go out to my loyal parishioners. It's been a great privilege of mine to be able to serve you, and I just want to remind you, in the event I don't get to always go with God. And if worse comes to worse and I'm not able to return, I'll see you on the other side.
Hey guys, this is Rachel Jones from Mercy Hospital. This is to Justin. If they don't find this, make sure you keep our crew together. Tell my brothers and sisters that I love them, and watch out for Whiskers and Captain Fuzz for me. Their favorite treats are on top of the fridge. But hopefully I'll be kicking it on some island here. So, see you guys soon.
Hey everyone. It's Mike Caraway. A lot of weird stuff has been happening recently. And I think we're just kind of fed up with it. We're gonna take this ship back. We're gonna be safe. Don't worry about us. We'll see you soon.
Jimmy, it's Jay. I know the world never really gave us much, but we always had each other. I'm sorry if you think that I left you. I didn't. I had to get out of there. I just had to. But, if I make it out of here, we'll find each other. But, again, when has the world ever given us what we really wanted?
The cruise ship has been silent for 10 days. Silent for the occasional howl on the wind, and screams quickly silenced. The motors have gone quiet, and you have been adrift in the darkness. Backup energy and emergency lights have held out for some time, but now even they begin to fade. There were rumors of a secondary backup generator below deck. With no one to activate it, the ship is being overtaken by the night. Perhaps even more unsettling is the fact that less than an hour ago, the ship's motor started to move once more. The ship is moving, but under whose control? You have barricaded yourselves in a cabin, and now the ship is turning off course, sailing into the unknown. If you could get the backup generator, you may be able to retake the ship. Maybe even send out a call for help. That is, if you move quickly enough, before the Shadow cruise arrives at its new destination. The light above you has been flickering off and on, for hours, days. It's hard to keep track of time. Cell phones are running low on battery life, if not dead already. Out the window is a horrific black night, as though someone has put a blanket over the ship, over the world. This room stinks of terror and fear. No way 4 people should have lived in here as long as you have, but you've been making your rations last. Listening to the horrors in the hallway and beyond. An hour ago, the ship's engine started to thrum with life, and you felt the ship start to lurch. Ever so slowly, the waves crashing against the body, starting to rock the ship back and forth. You feel the inertia, the waving of the unstable ship in choppy water. Your friends might have reached out to you and said, why would you take a cruise in this season? You know the weather can get bad. The islands, the destination, they were always so gorgeous in the pamphlets, in the commercials, in the videos. How could you not risk it? Coming here, working here, living here, getting away from it all. Well, here we are. 10 days ago, the world went black. The sky went dark. The cosmos flipped the light switch. No stars, no moon, no sun. Just endless ocean of black. 5 days ago, reports on the ship. Something new, something interesting, something terrible. Whatever they are, they sure as fuck weren't on the ship when it left port. But they're here now. You've heard them attacking people in the darkness. Sure as shit weren't ready to leave the room, but now you guys are out of food and out of time. Who knows where this ship is heading? Might be your concern, might not be. That's for you guys to decide. But what is certain is that this ship is doomed unless something tremendous, some sort of miracle happens. But with your empty bellies, weak minds, and frames, it's hard to worry about anything but food at this time. You find yourselves in a cabin. I'll let you guys decide if it's one of yours or if it's a random room that you held up in. It would probably make the most sense to be one of yours, as you would have access to it unless the person who owned it got taken from it or left. Whose room is this?
It's not mine. I just ran into one.
It can be mine.
Okay. This is Father David Thorne's room. You guys have been here for some time. What food you were able to kind of steal from the galley has run out. 4 people living in such a cramped space for so long. Mike and Jay have a good feel for the ship, but they haven't been everywhere yet. They didn't really have access too much to the engineering sections, to the communications sections. They made bi-weekly phone calls once in a while to their friends and family, but they usually did that when the ship arrived at port of call. Rachel and Father David Thorne boarded the ship excited for new possibilities, but almost immediately, too far out in the sea to see the shoreline, the sky grew dark. Went to bed one night, woke up, and it was still night hours later. Half a day later, still night. Until that nightmare that was a dream persisted. What is the plan? What is your driving force right now? What have you guys been debating or arguing about for the past several hours or days?
Well, my brothers and sisters, we have a serious predicament on our hands. We are, as you all know, dangerously low on food. And while I wish I could sustain on the good Lord's words alone, I fear that I grow hungrier by the hour. Mike, you're a cook here, right?
It was, yeah.
Do you know where we might be able to find some more? I've never been on a ship before.
I can get us down to the kitchens, but we can see what's there. I'm sure there's got to be some. These ships are so full of food.
Yeah, I do know that our cruise was not supposed to last much longer than a week, but I'm sure the ship's carry us extra supplies.
And it's all you
Accidents
can
do
eat
happen.
for 1,000 people. That's all you
And
can eat.
Unfortunately, we're down quite a few now. God rest their souls.
So there should be plenty of food, right? If there's not many people left.
I would think so.
I think we just have to go get it.
To the kitchen, it sounds like then, which is in the back of the ship, near some of the dining halls. Fortunately, you guys are midship, if not a little forward. My nautical terms are going to be pretty terrible, so I do apologize in advance. I'm not an avid cruiser. I have been on a cruise ship, so I won't butcher it too bad, but I might confuse some of the terms. But you guys are fairly forward of the ship, probably at the 1/3 mark. The kitchens are in the back, near some of the massive dining halls. There's probably 2 or 3 on this ship. It's irrelevant until it becomes relevant. It's a lot of distance, and also not a lot of distance between you and the kitchens. What all are you taking with you?
Well, I'm bringing the good Lord's book.
I don't have anything else with me.
I do have this reading light as well. It's not much, but
Is that like a book light? Oh, jeez. That's your guys' light in the darkness? I love it. I love it.
We should bring any bags or anything we can find along the way to help us and carry the food back again.
So when this all went down, Rachel was probably caught very much off guard.
Yeah.
You're probably just in your normal clothes, probably
Yeah.
heading out to the dining hall. You weren't like swimming in the pool or
Nah.
anything. Yeah. Because it was probably nighttime, right? And you guys woke up, kind of got dressed, realized what was going on. On the 5th day when they came, it probably took the ship much by off guard. You guys probably had a little bit of time to scramble, but most of the last 5 days were probably spent in this room, unfortunately. How you guys became unfortunate allies is a story for another time, perhaps. So who has stuff in this room besides Father Thorn?
there's probably emergency supplies of some form. Most ships have even just a real basic kit.
Yep, probably in the closet. There's probably a extra blanket, maybe a towel or two.
So, I'll look for supplies?
Well, you guys, because this is your room, I'm
Okay.
not going to make you roll for it. I'm going to give you guys very basic stuff as a freebie starting out in this room. Compliments of the scenario sort of thing. This isn't a sort of place you scrounge before you leave because you guys have spent the last 4 days in this room. You have it memorized.
They don't
So
like
I'm
my
asking, what does Mike and Jay and Rachel have that they might have grabbed in a frantic moment?
If there's a med kit, I would have grabbed it. Like
Okay.
if there's something like that.
First aid kit or something.
First aid kit or something, yeah,
Being
I would have
an
grabbed
EMT,
it.
you'd probably keep one. You'd probably travel with one.
Yeah, but I probably didn't take it with me to dinner.
Oh, that's true.
Probably not. Did you guys grab anything from... I'm assuming you probably didn't go back to your rooms.
No. I would say maybe in the frantic rush of like scraping together some food to take with me.
Exactly.
I may have grabbed like a chef's knife or something, but
Okay.
Well, it's probably your own knife.
yeah.
Chefs all have their own knives.
You got that hip knife?
Yeah.
The sheath? Benihana style?
Yeah.
Perfect. And what does Jay have with her that's kind of holding closely, if anything?
Jay's never really had much, but she maybe just had a small backpack filled with maybe a couple extra shirts and a pair of pants or
Okay,
something.
sounds good. Probably like you were planning on once your shift was over, maybe just instead of heading back to your room, probably just getting changed in the employee lounge or something, and then heading back up for your free time. Okay. All right. I like also that you maybe have like a pad and pencil, and so you can take notes or whatever. You have that as a waitress, obviously.
Yeah.
So, all right. Sounds like you guys are leaving the room and heading out into the hallways, the stairwells, heading back deeper into the ship in the hindquarters, where a lot of this began. Who's going first? Who's opening the door into the unknown?
I guess Mike will.
Okay. Mike, being the person who knows the way to the kitchen the best, almost some sort of radar in his stomach, some sort of unspoken directional thing. Here in 10 Candles, this is a D6 game. I have with me 10 D6s, one for each candle. Mike is doing our first conflict. The reason why he's doing a conflict is because what's outside this door is unknown. Anytime we are entering a scenario where the outcome is unknown, I'm going to have my players roll to see what happens. Out of their dice, all they need is 1 6, and they get to tell me what happens. Mike, go ahead and roll your dice, and let's see what happens.
All right, I did get A6.
Perfect. A6. Not bad odds.
2 1s.
Now, Sterling is pointing out that he got 2 1s. A 6 is necessary to succeed. When he succeeds, he gains control of the narrative. Sterling is about to tell me what Mike sees when he opens that door. We're going to talk briefly on storytelling mechanics, and we're going to talk about the 1s. Now, Mike has control of the narrative. He has rolled more 6s than I have. And I don't have any dice right now, but that will change here in the near future. When Mike gains control of the narrative, when Sterling gains control of the narrative, he gets to tell me what he sees. Now, early in the story, he's going to want to set the players up for success. Early on in the game, you want to help yourselves so you can survive to the end of the game. Always knowing that by the end of the story, you will ultimately be the sole architect of your character's death. I would encourage you to set up the mystery of this ship. What's happening here? When you open that door, if the lights are on and it's a clean hallway, that's betraying the fiction, the story we're building. If he opens the door and there's creatures outside ready to attack, that's setting us off on the wrong foot as well, because we are not quite ready for that shit to go down yet.
I've got my Bible.
Plus, it's a dead end. So there's a fine mix between boon and bane, right? Lastly, he's set aside 2 1s. Now, in this game, you have as many dice as there are candles lit to roll. However, each one that you roll removes that from the dice pool for the rest of the scene, causing the scene to statistically end shorter and shorter each time you roll. So there is an opportunity for you to re-roll the 1s if you have a vice or virtue on top.
I do not.
You have your moment, correct? Okay, so those 1s are removed from the dice pool and set over here. If Kathy, you pass them over. So now there are only 8 dice in the dice pool for the person who rolls next, as the pile will diminish with every 1 rolled after that. Mike, you open the door. Sterling, you have rolled a 6. What do you see?
So we open the door, kind of slowly creep out. It is dark in the hallway, but about every 10 or 15 seconds, the kind of lights flicker dimly, but it's not very much. But it's enough that as we're walking down the hallway, at one point we do see a kind of like bloody handprint. Just kind of like, you can make out like where all the hands were, and then like the fingers kind of go and drag down, but there's no body or anything.
So it's just a bloody,
just a bloody
line
handprint.
Runs down almost like it was stretched and then fallen.
Oh my.
And the lights flicker dimly, but then cast in darkness in between their intervals. Is that correct? Okay. As you guys leave out in the room, you catch eyes on this bloody handprint, but no body. You guys start to head deeper and deeper into the ship, the lights flickering. Do you make a quick pace for it, or do you take your time, trying not to draw any unnecessary attention? What is the urgency of this journey?
I think having seen the handprint, Mike would be a little more like, okay, well, let's go. Like, let's hustle along, hoping to not run into anything and just get there and safe again.
Perfect. As you guys are making your way back, you pass several rooms. It's just rooms staggered, door. These cruise ships have a high occupancy. Many of the doors are shut and locked. Several are open. The rooms disheveled. No bodies. No signs of people. the more you're walking through the ship, 10 feet, 15 feet, 30 feet, 50 feet, the farther you travel down this long, straight hallway, the less you see. It's almost like you're the only people on the ship. You reach the first stairwell. You know that you have one more stretch of hallway past this stairwell before you hit another stairwell which leads very close to the kitchens. And you hear a voice calling out echoing through the stairwells. Are they above? It's hard to tell. They might be below as well. The way these rooms carry voices in this very dark and hollow ship, it's hard to tell where it's coming from, but you hear this soft younger, "Hello? Help! I'm trapped! Is there anyone there?"
My child, where are you?
I'm stuck under this thing tipped over and it's crushing my leg. I can't really get free.
What deck are you on?
I'm on the 5th deck.
What deck are we on?
Probably on the 7th.
Do we have to go down or up to get to the kitchen?
He said down, right?
Probably down, yeah.
Mike, we can't just leave that poor child. We need to go help them.
So I'm a noob to cruise ships. Are the decks like first deck is the top one then?
Nope.
From the bottom up.
From the bottom up, yeah.
Okay.
So she's 2 floors below you, and it sounds like she's... So the stair landing are usually pretty big, and they have... there's 2 elevators on each side. There's 2 massive, wider stairwells. The stairs are pretty treacherous. They kind of go down into a half landing, turn around, and go back down into a new level. And they usually have guides for where you're at, so you can kind of keep track of where you're at in the ship and get a feel for the land and stuff like that. So the stairwells usually open up into kind of crossroads or T intersections that let you go into the middle of the ship and kind of explore some of that stuff. And usually the bottom couple floors are all ship kind of blocked off for passengers. We're talking engineering, crew quarters, all this stuff. Once you start going up into the midsection, you get almost consistently quarters. And then the top couple levels are all the fun stuff to do.
Okay.
So she's definitely coming from down below.
And that's where we need to go for the kitchen anyway, right? Just down.
Yeah, it is, so you can either head straight back or you can go down and then straight back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but either way you will have to go down and straight back.
I think we should go see if there's anything we can do.
We've got to see if we can help.
It could be a trap.
Well, there's 4 of us against 1 person.
We don't know that it's just one person.
Then we go check it out. We'll find out if it's just 1 person.
Please help. Please, I can't move my leg.
I think I'm just headed down.
Okay.
I'll follow him.
I give a smile at Jai, kind of shrug my shoulders, and
Tourist.
or Jay, yeah,
Yeah.
and then I'll start heading down with them.
Perfect. So you guys go down 2 sets of floors, and as you're kind of turning the half corner, getting down into the 5th stairwell, at the half landing right above it, there's just debris piled up almost to the ceiling to where you can't even see the landing of the 5th floor. It looks like someone or several people took a hell of a time to build a barricade to keep anything from going down below. You guys can go back up to the 6th floor and try the back way, but that's very likely to be blocked off as well. What do you do?
Hello?
Hello? Oh my god, you're so close. Please. Please, I'm stuck.
Can I try to climb? No, because I'm going to be alone.
It's kind
It's
of
I take
blocking
that
off.
back.
Well,
Yeah.
it's both blocking off, but even if you were to slip through, it looks very kind of unstable and haphazardly put together. There's like luggage and waiter, like carts, and just debris.
I push it in the right spot, or I'll just
You absolutely
fall?
can push it.
Can I try?
You potentially run the risk. You can't get a bearing of where she's at, but you could run the risk of
No,
crushing her
that's
by all this
true.
debris as well.
I take that back.
What do you guys do?
Child, are you close by the wall?
I'm nearby.
Can you stand back for us?
I can't move. My leg's pinned.
Are you alone?
Yes. I mean, there's others, but... Yes.
What do you mean by others?
The others aren't... They're not moving anymore.
This is the only place that there might be bodies. We haven't seen any bodies this whole trip.
Why are you so excited to
I'm
see
not
us?
excited.
I think she's talking about that as Jenny. I hope she's talking about that as Jenny. EMTs are fascinated with bodies. Let's just...
I have stuff we can steal. No. I was just curious.
Where are your parents?
So she sounds like a really late teens, early 20s kind of
Okay.
cat.
No,
Sorry.
tiny child.
I haven't seen my family in a couple days. We got separated when everything started to happen.
How long have you been stuck under that, whatever it's pinning you? Do you know what's pinning you?
So it's probably just
Something she's just not strong enough to
debris.
move. Yeah.
Cruise ship stuff mostly. So what was your other question? Sorry.
How long has she been pinned there?
It's hard to tell. I fell asleep. I don't know how long. I haven't been here for a full day. I'm starving and I'm in incredible pain and I think my leg's broken. Please help.
How do we move this barrier?
I think we're gonna have to go around. Otherwise we...
I think Mike is right. We can't...
No, don't leave me, please.
What's your name?
Michelle.
Michelle. We'll be there shortly, but we can't go through here.
You might get hurt if we try to pull down the barricade.
I guess you might be able to push through on the other side. I'm not by the other wall, but if you have to go around, that's fine. Just please hurry, please.
We'll be quick. I think we're headed to the other... Try and find the other way down.
Okay. So what's likely to happen is you're going to have to go back to the 6th floor, cross around, go down, make your way through a kind of maze, right? So you go back to the 6th floor and start proceeding forward. There's a section that's completely pitch black. Lights are not flickering. And it almost sounds like there's a piece of the hull missing. Wind is sweeping in heavily. You can hear a storm out beyond the darkness. Something has ripped a section of the wall off this ship. You stand at the threshold of darkness, hearing the haunting wind pour into the ship, a storm breaking beyond, the ship swaying in the darkness, the calls and cries of Michelle behind you. What do you do?
Anyone have any form of light?
Well, I've got my reading light. It's not much, but it is something.
Maybe we can search one of the cabins and see if we can find something.
Yeah.
Now with the barricade, if you were to be able to get some sort of pipe or something, you could get some leverage and kind of try and collapse it all down. The odds of anything like that being in a room are very unlikely. You guys don't generally have access to the utility lockers that are kind of nearby, stashed away.
So I don't know this ship very well. I didn't get to explore it much. What are we near right now?
You can kind of make up your poison. As Sterling has never been on a cruise ship before, there's casinos, there's lounges, there's bars, there's pretty much any manner of luxury that you can kind of create. We can kind of finagle into our cruise ship. So feel free. Cigar lounges, whatever, just any manner of luxury we can put in the ship.
Ballroom?
Okay.
There's a fairly large ballroom on the 6th floor.
Does it have candles? Or anything that is portable light?
Probably.
There might be.
Might be able to find something.
It would be a good place to start looking.
You guys are heading to the ballroom then?
Yep.
Okay. As you make your way to the ballroom,
At this point, we do know that they're afraid of, like, we already know that, right?
you've heard,
Okay.
you've seen, you're not entirely sure much about anything, but you know that light is
Better be
important,
safe than sorry, yeah.
especially stumbling through the darkness.
Where there might be a giant hole.
You guys hit the threshold of the ballroom door. The doors are closed, but this door is unlocked. Who's proceeding further, and who's rolling the die to see what's on the other side?
I'll go. Just kind of absent-mindedly, just headed in.
Ballroom it is. We're here to get light.
We found the ballroom.
All right, and there is not a single 6.
I suck.
Okay. Now, yep. So here's some options. Daniel here has rolled 8 dice and not resulted in a single 6. He has shown 2 1s. Now he does have a virtue on top, and your virtue is compassionate. Now, if you wanted to do so, you could cash in your virtue to reroll all of your 1s. Would you like to do so at this time, hoping against hope?
I really think I would.
Okay. All right. So you will burn your virtue. You were away when I did the demonstration. No, other way. Yeah, fire in first.
Just for the light.
Gotcha. All right.
Brief glimpse of light.
Explain to me how your compassion helps you in this situation.
Well, I really want to help Michelle. She's hurt, she's in a bad place, we haven't seen anybody else. And I feel this overwhelming love for most people. And I need to help her.
Okay. Reroll your 1s.
And I still suck.
Yep. The Lord is not with you on that roll. So, he has re-rolled and failed to roll additional 6s, or any 6s whatsoever. This will end our very first scene. I'm going to hand Daniel our official candle snuffer outer. It is a Carnival Cruise shot glass, oddly enough. All right, go ahead and darken a candle.
Then we get to find out what terrible stuff's inside the ballroom.
There you go. I will narrate the resolution. Whenever the players fail a check, I gain narrative control of that result, and then we'll proceed to a section in between scenes, and we'll start our next scene. You open the ballroom doors into complete black. This is a massive room, you know, because you both have been in here several times, whether to clean or serve or relax. There's a stench that hangs heavy in the air. Stench of rotting. Father David Thorne pulls out his small light, flickers it to life with what little light it gives. You guys step forward, your shoes echoing into the massive empty space, until you trip over the first body. Lifeless. You nearly turn and run, terrified yet overwhelmed. But you stay, knowing that this might have been a possibility, this might have happened. As you look down closer, you see something even more horrific. It looks as though this body has aged exponentially. Something has shriveled this corpse. very much as a grape shrivels into a raisin. Skin darkened, flesh clings wrinkly, raggedly, a look of horror on this face. As Father David Thorne raises his light high above his head, try and get a look into the darkness, you see a mound ahead. A mound of bodies. We will now enter a section in between each scene. I will say something and then we will establish truths in the world. These truths are canon to our story. They can be anything you want. I would encourage you to be creative to help your characters, but to also be aware that try not to establish something that's game breaking, that you'll end up regretting later through the narrative. Keeping in mind we are setting up our characters to knock them down. There's only one rule when establishing a truth. It cannot be about them, the darkness, or the supernatural setting that is our story. These things are true. The world is dark.
The ballroom is... or the corpses in the ballroom... of the corpses in the ballroom, none of them appear to be crew members.
The ballroom is mysteriously cold compared to everything else.
There are holes in the ceiling and floor.
How big are these holes?
Large enough for a body to fit through.
There are at least 100 bodies.
The stench is overwhelming, and it causes Rachel to become nauseous.
Father David is in utter shock at the horror of what he's seen.
Rachel thinks she sees a flickering light at the far end.
Of the ballroom?
Yeah.
You can still hear a faint cry from Michelle from the floor below.
There's one truth established for each of the remaining candles, and the last truth for every single scene is spoken in unison by all players at once.
And
We are alive.
Rachel, doubled over on her hands and knees, trying not to be sick, looks up and sees a soft flickering light, muffled by something impossible to tell, but beyond a doubt, a light. Mike has almost tripped over a hole. Luckily, or unfortunately, a body was kind of wedged into this hole. Whatever has created these things were hastily done, imperfect and unnatural. Holes seemingly ripped through the floor, ripped through the ceiling. Something trying to get out or something trying to get in. Shudders down your spine, thinking, is this a home for something? What have we done? Where are we? What do you do?
Does anyone else see that light over there? Me as Rachel. Tom.
You all look and you see it.
I think we should try to make our way over there.
As you look at the light, it has a aura, almost eclipsing something. The center of the light is blurry. It's hard to tell what's happening, but it's almost looking like there's a light behind a thin pane of glass or something It's translucent, but not clear as glass. It's kind of like a smoky glass or something to diffuse the light, but you also see eclipsing the edges. Sure enough, a light. It's flashing at intervals regularly. A cool, brisk wind swirls through this room, stirring up smells unimaginable, hoping to bring in a sea breeze that never comes. This light is across the room, probably at least 100 feet away. Unknown perils between you and it.
By the dear Lord's mercy. I wish the bodies were not here. Why can't it be like everywhere else on the ship?
Maybe this is where they've put them. We've stumbled across a storage for bodies, maybe?
Something else is going on. I've seen a lot of dead bodies and they don't decompose this fast.
Whatever it is, I don't like it.
I think we should try to get to that light over there.
I think so too. We shouldn't stay here.
Watch your step.
Move along the wall.
As you're moving patiently, you hear swirling through a hole or two in the floor. You hear a voice, Michelle's voice, and she says, "Hello?" It's very difficult to hear. And you hear a deep voice say something back, muffled, impossible to tell what. She says, "David?" You hear something said back. She starts to scream. Scream in frantic, terrified. If you don't go down right now, you're worried that there might not be a reason to.
Oh, no. We need to hurry. Something is happening.
Do you go for the light? Or do you go for the calls of the pleas?
I think I am going to jump down whatever hole this sound is coming from. Attempt to save her. It is my moment.
Okay, well, you have to get a little closer to her,
Okay.
friend. But I'm going to have you jump down, irrationally plunging yourself forward. Roll to see what's on the other side of that hole. Now remember, this is below the ballroom, and she's somewhat farther away.
I imagine it's probably like a cabin and something below, but...
Could be a section of cabins. That would make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Alright, here we go. No. I didn't get any sixes. And my moment's on top, so I can't reroll.
Okay. As you... Go ahead and pass the dice back. As you plummet through the hole into darkness, you land awkwardly on what feels almost like luggage on top of a bed in a room. You roll your ankle terribly and crash down to the ground, hitting your shoulder and your head as you land. As you start to scramble back to your feet, your newfound companions calling down to you, asking if you're okay after you cried out in pain. You realize that you didn't land on debris on the bed. You landed on a body or two. As you struggle to your feet, your ankle throbbing, your head throbbing, your shoulder rolling in your socket, you almost feel a click. He landed heavily. You hear Michelle's screams suddenly stop, almost listening. Then she calls out again, "Please, help, hurry! He's coming for me!" Darken a candle. These things are true. The world is dark.
The bodies in here, in this room that I just jumped down into, have not been dried up as the ones up in the ballroom have.
In the room that Mike is in, there is a small medical kit.
As you're kind of looking at the bodies, getting ready to either move them or help your companions come down if they do follow you, you notice a tremendous amount of blood on the beds, or on the bed from the two individuals.
The flickering light in the ballroom is seeming to be coming closer to us.
Rachel was not able to hold her composure and not get sick.
If you were to really examine these bodies, you'd be able to tell that this was a mass suicide.
Somewhere in the distance, you hear an unidentifiable sound.
Roughly, what is it? Like, is it a shriek? Is it a thud? Is it...
It's like a tapping.
Okay.
And we are alive.
Are you okay, Mike? Your friends call down below. You feel this blood on your hands. It's dried, but there's so much of it. There's so much. You look around, feeling through the darkness. Your hands clasp a small box, size of a lunchbox. You know this to be a standard cruise medical kit. They're kind of gathered around the hole, calling down to you. And all of a sudden, David notices that the light seems to be growing closer.
Mike, are you all right?
I'll be fine.
What? Do you guys see that?
See what?
The light. Over there.
As Rachel wipes her mouth off.
Is that getting closer?
Maybe.
Mike, is it safe to come down?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a pleasant sight down here, but I found a box. I think it's a first aid kit.
What is that?
I don't
Where
know.
did that come from?
I'm going down. Rachel's gonna jump down through the hole.
Rachel jumps down through the hole.
Mike, I'm coming!
Let's see how you stick your landing.
Oh god. Mike, I'm hopefully coming.
Hello? Who are you?
I don't have any sixes. I
Jeez,
have
you
one.
guys are certifiably terrible.
We're
at this
terrible.
game.
Worst hole ever.
Certifiably terrible.
We're all
May the
having
odds be ever
sterling rolls.
against your favor.
This is gonna
This
be
is-
the
this is supposed to be the
shortest
easy
10
half of the
candles
game.
ever.
So you have 1-1.
I have 1-1.
Are you using a vice or a virtue to re-roll?
I have a virtue on top. It's merciful.
Now, in correspondence with Stephen Dewey, back when I first picked up this game and getting ready to play it for YouTube, he did make a recommendation for players, and that's to use your cards whenever you can, as often as you can, because you can't take them with you when you're dead.
True.
But a 1/1 is
But the
very
odds
hard,
of me
very hard
rolling
to justify.
the 1. But
If you
if I
get a 6.
if I do get a 6, but if I don't, either way the scene ends, right? If I do get a 6, the scene continues.
It continues, yes.
If I don't roll right now, it doesn't continue. So, like, I'm not losing anything, really, am I? I've decided I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and burn this.
Okay. What is the card?
Merciful?
And that is your virtue?
That's my virtue.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I'm jumping down 1 to see if he's okay, and 2 because I want out of this room that I said we should all go to.
very fair enough. So your chief medical concern is Mike at this point, which is why you're racing down. At least that's what the record
Yeah.
will state.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard him grunt a lot when he fell.
I think, there's a few yelps.
Okay. Who has really good luck? Blow on this dice. I'll wait.
I
until
don't
it
think you
finds
want to blow
completely
around
done.
these open
No.
candles. If for any reason a candle is blown out, even on accident, you guys lose that candle.
I can see the bottom on
Yeah.
all of them.
Roll it. Get that 6. Yes, you did.
Sorry.
You are
I
good.
got a 6.
You are good to spike the audio on that 1 in 6 chance. All
You
right.
have to roll.
Yes, I do have to roll. So now that I have dice, and technically I should have rolled against Mike, but he didn't even roll any 6s, so it was a moot point. Now that the players are rolling dice, well, they have been. I actually have 2 dice, 1 for each darkened candle.
Oh.
I roll against the players, and for each 6, I have to tie or get more 6s than they have.
If you tie, you get it as
If
well.
I tie, I do get narrative control over the resolution, but the scene continues as planned. I did roll a 6 because I am God mode on dice. If you guys watch any of our other dice role-playing content, you will see this, especially Legacy of Ash.
Yeah.
However, Friends Like These is probably a lot softer for the players because I don't roll dice. So I did roll a 6. I do maintain narrative control. As you jump down, you catch the bed awkwardly as well. You fall forward and fall down, and you hit your hands on the ground very hardly, right? Very badly, and you hurt both of your wrists. Please kind of make a note on the back of your character sheet or anything, any kind of minor wounds that you have. In the past, we've played this and kind of gets forgotten pretty easily, so just make a note of that for thematic purposes so you can roleplay that into the future. So
How
both
bad
of your hands are hurting pretty bad. You didn't
Didn't
it's-
break anything.
No, you landed on the bed on the bodies and you fell and you kind of jammed your hands, but your hands are killing you, and it's kind of making you have less mobility in them, harder to treat Mike's wounds and stuff like that. All right, so you fall down with a thud. Mike scrambles to your side. You hear this tapping sound, and
Above me? Sorry.
it is actually coming from this level. Now that you listen to it even more, you can hear it almost like someone's tapping on a wall with a sharp pointed object. Tap, 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 tap. Could be Morse code, but it sounds infinitely more ominous. Jay and Father David, what do you do? You heard Rachel haphazardly shoot down the hole right after Mike,
It doesn't sound like they're having a good time down there.
and you are not aware that this tapping sound is coming from below. If anything, it is echoing. This room is thoroughly haunting, and if you stay here, you will pay for it.
And that light's getting closer.
Well, it's been mere moments since we darkened candles. The scene continues. That's right. Yep. I almost thought we had to do some stuff, but we don't. Are you guys going down?
Jay, I don't really like the look of whatever's coming towards us. It doesn't seem to be responding.
Yeah, we should probably follow them.
Think so.
I think jumping directly down into the hole isn't very smart. Is there like something around here that could lower us?
Well, I might be able to lower you.
All right.
You could stay with us.
Who said that?
The voice came seemingly from the light that's drawing near.
You gonna lower me down now, Father?
Is someone
That
coming
sounded like
down?
a child. Are you lost, little one?
No. Are you?
Can I push the father down the hole?
Yes, you can. I won't even make you roll for it. You push Father David Thorne down the hole.
Oh!
Sorry. And then I jump in after.
On Father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make you take minor fall damage. Waitress fall damage.
D6 plus 3.
Yeah. So you guys kind of all land haphazardly. Mike, you were not really expecting everyone to follow, so
Jump down on top
everyone
of
to
me.
follow you like Jenga blocks for some reason after they heard you call out in pain after you landed. You guys are all kind of in pretty poor shape, having jumped down a deck of
All
a
of
ship
us jumped.
and and landing harshly. You now unremarkably hear this tapping noise, almost like an ice pick, just tapping into the
Jay,
walls.
why did you push me in the hole? Someone up there might need our help. They seemed friendly.
No, they didn't.
It's just a lost child.
Are you sure about what is that sound?
It certainly seems to be loud down here. Can you do me a favor and get off my back?
Yes,
Oh.
please.
Sorry, everyone.
So everybody kind of scrambles to their feet, and you see the light kind of growing closer up above. What do you do?
Little one, do you need help?
You left me.
I'm,
Now
Who is that you guys are talking to?
No idea.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to fall in.
Excuse me, Father. Who do you think you're talking to?
The person with the light upstairs.
What is he talking about?
I can show you the light.
That sounds creepy.
The true
I
light.
vote we leave.
What light is this?
The only light.
Do you know how to turn on the lights? Is that what you're saying?
Make him stop talking.
You'll see the light soon enough.
Let's get out of here now.
Mike, where's that box you found?
Uh,
I'm sorry. Did I hear about that?
Yeah, said I found something. It's right here.
Can I
I
see
did
it?
scramble, fill,
for
grab
for
it.
what is this? Sorry.
The truth that was established that there was like a first aid kit down there.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys are kind of Father David is looking up into the chasm, talking to the creepy little voice. Mike, you're kind of looking at the first aid kit.
Well, I'm still like really distracted because I jumped down here to help Michelle.
Yeah.
And now everyone's down
She's
here
still
and it's like
calling out and the
Yeah.
tapping. Yeah, there's a lot of sensory overload.
Mm-hmm.
So you're grabbing the med kit and handing it to Rachel.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you doing with the med kit?
I'm opening it up to see if there are any pain relief, mainly for Mike, but I think we all
Yeah.
hurt ourselves.
Roll it. Let's see what's in this med kit.
Yeah, I want to see what all is in it. Period. I also grabbed a small one. I don't. Is this the?
You still
same?
have one. It's probably in Jay's backpack or something.
Yeah. How much do I serve today? I got one. As in, I got 1 6,
Oh, I need to roll against you.
and I
That's
got
the
no
thing.
ones.
No sixes.
I got 1 6.
You have narrative
Oh.
control over the resolution. Thematic recommendation, feel free to do whatever with this, is these people committed mass suicide in the room as a previously established truth.
Yeah.
Did you have a 1?
No.
Okay.
I did not. I had
Alright.
1 6.
Perfect. Okay, so you, what is in the medical kit?
I think it's your pretty standard medical kit, like smaller one, like kind of what you would take if you like had a company car or
Yep,
something
car,
like that.
like roadside medical
Yeah,
kit.
yeah. So it's got a few ace bandages. It's got some like burn relief, stuff
Okay.
like that, and then it has like 4 Advil
Okay.
tablets because it's not meant for 4
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
It's meant for like 1.
Yep. It's like a one-time use. They wouldn't put a ton of medicine in a
Yeah.
medical pack, otherwise it would really jack up the prices of a first aid kit,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
All right.
And then maybe some eye drops, but that's about
Okay,
it.
so as you're rummaging through the medical kit, David, you see a very tall silhouette eclipse the light. It's the size of a man.
Child, is that you?
No
Father,
response.
I really wish you would stop talking.
Well, look,
Just-
there's
no,
someone up
just-
there.
No.
How badly
Just-
are you 2 hurt?
I'm fine. I landed on everyone. Like, I mean, it wasn't, completely painless, but I'm not over here dying.
I'll be fine, my sister.
Okay, I'm gonna give 3 of the Advil to him and 1 to myself because I hurt my wrist.
Okay. As you're starting to dispense of the medicine, this shadowy figure drops into the room, but does not land on the bed. You see a shadow enter the room, and then nothing. And you feel a dark presence surround each and every one of you. You're more than welcome to dispense medicine and
Yeah.
count rations and all that stuff, but you are surrounded by darkness, by unnatural darkness that clings to you. You feel heavy breathing on your neck, in your soul.
I'm gonna pull out my Bible and like start backing towards the door, holding the Bible out.
It's kind of almost the same reaction. I like clip the clip on my like knife sheath and like have my hand on it. Like, we need to get out of here now.
You guys make for the door,
Yeah, I'm gonna
And-
You
grab
are an evil creature.
and as the door opens, you guys start to scramble out of the room. He says, "We just started playing. Why leave now?"
I do not play games with devils.
So you guys back out. The door slams shut, I'm assuming. Somebody slams
Yeah.
the door shut. And you guys find yourself in a hallway. You hear Michelle calling off in the distance. Frantic. It's only really been maybe a minute tops since you guys dropped down, since you heard her calling out in pain. You hear on the door right next to you. Off in the other direction of the hallway, you hear rhythmic sort of hammering of sorts. What do?
I reach into my shirt and pull out my little gold crucifix and just hold it in the other hand as the Bible. Just still like facing the door. You are an evil thing, and I cast you out of this world.
Nothing happens.
I cast you out!
From the other side of the door.
Definitely backing up a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going towards the direction of Michelle is the opposite direction that we heard the tapping from, correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna start going
Yep, towards
there.
Michelle.
You guys race towards Michelle. You guys end up
she
at the
looks
T
like a
intersection,
normal
opening to this kind of debris-ridden stronghold area. There's a little bit of debris blocking the T intersection, really looking like they kind of set up a fortification, really blocking themselves into this stairwell. I'm going to have first person to arrive to roll.
Is that me or you?
You
Probably Rachel.
Yeah, my ankles hurt.
I'm kind of in the back of the party.
You have to be kind of near the front. You have the only light.
I still
But he
have
has
it.
a Bible.
I have 1 6 and a bunch of 1.
Oh.
Jesus, Jen.
So go ahead and pull off all those ones out to the side.
So all but one dice? Okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
We have 2 dice
2.
left.
Wow.
Okay, so do you have your moment on top next too?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So it sounds like there's not a lot of rerolls. Unfortunately, I did roll a 6 as well. So I tied your 6s. I control narration. Yep, I'll take those.
I'm
Scene
so
will
sorry,
promptly
guys.
be ending, I'm assuming, pretty soon here.
Most likely.
Yep. So you reach the barrier, and I'm assuming, like, what is your state when you reach it? Are you just gonna start clearing it out, trying to get to Michelle? You just hear her crying.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So there's still a barrier to her, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
yeah.
it's not nearly as set up as the
Is that other one
stairwells.
that
Yeah.
we had seen? Yeah, I'm gonna start pulling stuff away and tossing it behind me because I don't want it to go the other direction because I don't know where she is in there.
Yeah. So as you start kind of ripping stuff towards you, trying to take down this barrier, this barricade, Mike arrives. He uses his muscles to start ripping stuff. Luggage, suitcases. You got random debris from the ship. Just all sorts of haphazard. Whoever built this was clearly part crew or mostly crew. Kind of set this up. You notice, kind of in the waning light, that both elevator doors are wide open, but you can't see in. It's just pitch black. And as you arrive, as you're kind of ripping, making all this noise, you don't hear Michelle. You clear out and you're looking around, and there's bodies, and they're drained. They're shriveled. They lay in
Like
ruin.
they were in the bottom.
Exactly like they were in the ballroom. And you're looking around, and you see a particularly ravaged frame of a young lady, and her name tag on her uniform says Michelle.
Awesome.
Oh, the scene still continues, doesn't it? Yeah.
I got a 6. You got 2 dice.
What do you do?
Obviously not alive, right?
My child.
Double check.
We were too late.
I don't think there is anything we could have done, Father. I'm gonna try to work on the other barrier then, because I want
Yeah, so
out of here.
so as you're raising your light, kind of looking around,
Sorry.
do you pay any attention to the elevator shafts, or do you pay them no mind? Okay.
I'm preoccupied with the child I couldn't save.
Okay. Upon slight further inspection, you almost have a feeling that this was not momentarily ago. Her husk is cold.
I just don't understand. She seems to have been dead for some time. But we just heard her.
Did we, though?
I don't know what else, or who else it could have been.
I told you it was a trap.
Okay.
You didn't save me.
I thought we get out of here.
Her head shifts towards you. Boo. She opens her eyelids, and there's black husks, shriveled eyes, and they look directly at you.
Can I
Nice.
stomp on her head?
I was just about to say, can I stab her?
You can. You can. I'm gonna have you roll the dice.
I'm sorry, guys.
My child, I'm sorry. We tried.
I got
Yes,
one
they got
6,
it.
and
And
I
one
also got a 1.
I did not get a 6. All right, so you stomp at or on Michelle's.
Well, I saw it
husk.
move. I know exactly which head it is. I stomped on it
Okay, so you
because I want
stomp
him
on
to
it.
stop talking.
You stomp on it. He's like clutching this young woman. What happens when you stomp on this husk?
Well, I'm assuming there's actually. I'm assuming you're stride enough and brittle enough that the husk itself actually, like, falls apart somewhat. But I'm assuming.
Don't
that,
ask, you
Right.
tell.
Yes, like
You
yeah.
just-
So
you
I
crush this
I crushed
head
it
like
and
a
it,
raisin. Yeah.
Like yeah. So the head goes, but so does the rest of the body from like the vibrations or whatever. Just all.
So you did a double boot stomp.
Yeah, just all goes to dust in his hands. But I don't think that stopped the voice from talking to us. Or maybe that one, but we can still hear the other one.
Okay. So,
I'm sorry, my child.
There's nothing left.
Like ashes from my arms.
yeah, like purple juice. Yeah. You guys are in this sort of barricaded dead end. And you don't feel safe here. This corpse, husk, whatever, turned and looked at Father David and spoke to him. This shit's beyond your pay grades. What do you guys do?
So there's still the other barrier that we couldn't get through by the stairwell.
Yep, so both stairwells have barricades. So right now the only kind of free entrances or exits are the bottom of the T that you just tore out,
Yeah.
that leads back to the middle of the ship towards the tapping, towards the holes that lead up to the ballroom, and open elevator shafts.
We never really tried the barrier, though, because we were afraid it would fall on her. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell that she was pinned by the barrier.
Yeah.
This poor lost child.
There's nothing we could do about it. Let's worry about ourselves now.
Your medical opinion, she's been dead for days.
Yeah.
And Father David is losing his marbles.
I had pity for her when I thought I could do something, but yeah, once I saw her, I was like, there's nothing I could have ever done.
Let's just get out of here.
Agreed. What's our fastest route?
Can we just push the barrier?
Absolutely. There are barriers at the top of the stairs leading down to the 4th floor, which is also down towards crew quarters, which I know that you guys obviously have rooms down there. You guys are more comfortable down there. That's where the backup generators are, stuff like that. You guys can absolutely push down. The only slight concern in the back of your minds is that the wails and the cries from the crew quarters were the most severe early on when they came. And if there is a deeper, darker part of this nightmare, that it's down below. What do you do?
If she's gonna start pushing on the barrier, I'm gonna go help her.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys push the barrier. I'm not even going to make you roll for it. It's pretty easy to dislodge that from the high ground. There are makeshift things that you can use as leverage. You collapse one of the barriers leading down the stairs. It makes it difficult to traverse the stairs. You guys make quick work of it if you want to head down. Is that the intention, is to head down into the ship?
Is there another barrier to head up?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
So essentially, there was the stairwell, right? Mm-hmm. It has the turnaround and goes down, so it's blocking up above and down below. So it was just kind of a huge half-circle wall that blocked all 5 entrances to the stairwell.
Well, we were able to get to it from a stairwell at one point when we first got there, right?
What do you guys do? You don't have time to hang out.
Yeah.
You need to keep moving. Seek light.
Probably still just kneeling there in disbelief. Just.
I think that just start walking down
Okay.
the stairs.
Does everybody join her?
Yeah. I'm pulling him along.
Okay. You guys head down the 4th floor, the very last of the crew quarters. Do you waste any time on the 4th floor? Actually, I'm going to have you guys roll when you get to the landing to see what it looks like.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you roll, Jay.
I only have one, I'm sorry.
Okay. Failed to roll a 6, so that does not result in like something terrible. Obviously the scene will end, and the scene was mostly this kind of interchange. I'm going to have you darken a candle here in a moment. As you arrive to the 4th floor, as you turn the corner and head down the stairs, clearing past the debris from the 5th floor, you come upon a scene that's fairly haunting, to say the least. You see several people sort of nailed to the wall. They're kind of sprawled out, giant nails piercing their body every 6-inch intervals, holding them up in grotesque puppet-like fashion, stapled, nailed into the wall by makeshift debris. That tapping sound haunting you from floors above. Darken a candle.
Did you say we made it to the crew quarters yet, or?
You guys are a floor above. The crew quarters. I don't know. Do you remember if it's 4th floor or 3rd floor?
3rd and below.
3rd and below. That's what I thought. Yeah. So you guys are right above. Nothing's stopping you. I just wanted to horrify you a tiny bit more before we move on. Hooray. These things are true. The world is dark. As you darken the candle, you're the first to establish a truth.
Jay's room is on the 3rd floor.
The ship is rocking a little bit more. You can tell that it's turning into choppier seas, and the speed is increasing. Although you are on reserve power, you're not at full speed yet, but it terrifies you to think that you are heading deeper into nothingness.
The tapping sound that accompanied us on the 5th floor seems to still be present and just as loud.
From above, below,
For all around.
Father David's tiny reading light is starting to flicker.
The crew quarters have kind of their own intercom system, and you can hear it on this floor as a faint buzzing, as if something or someone is just pressing the intercom button.
Somewhere on this floor, there
is this referring to the 3rd floor for both of your truths? Is that correct?
Mine was the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
but we're on the 4th floor.
Yeah, so somewhere on the 4th floor?
Somewhere on the 4th floor, there is a flashlight.
And we are alive.
These bodies hanging. They're not husks. Not yet. One is still dripping of blood. As you look and you see the elevator doors on these floors, one is sealed shut, the other one is kind of ripped halfway open, but the door is crooked, as if something of immense strength pushed it open, just enough space for a body, a human, to slip through. You hear down below this feedback loop of the crew intercoms. Might as well be a mile away to get to the junction to make announcements to the staff. What's left, or worse. The tapping has become rhythmic, cynical, haunting. Now having an idea of what's happening. Some twisted creature hanging art on the walls of this ship. Your friends, your fellow travelers. You see off in the distance, there's a hallway that goes down probably about 50 feet. You know it bends at this part of the ship, just a few feet, and then it continues down. Make room for some of the bigger suites. You see a flashlight shining its light around the corner. A dim, faint light. It's on. It's been on for who knows how long, but there is a flashlight not far. Do you head down to where you know, or do you head deeper into the darkness to seek the light? What do you do?
This is no longer a cruise ship. All this is a floating tomb. Look at all the dead around us. So many lost souls.
How much light do we have right now? Is it just the...
It's his book light that's flickering. And in the darkness, you are alone and in danger.
Look, we just need to go get that light. It's down the hall. We just need to go get it, and then we'll have more light. Your light is fading, and after that, if we lose that, then we are dead. But right now, right here and right now, we're still alive, so we should try, shouldn't we?
Right. Yes, Jay, you are correct. I should not let my faith falter. Let us go for the light. It's the only thing that feels somewhat safe.
So I'm
Somebody
gonna head.
lead the way.
I'm gonna head towards the light.
Okay. It's a long way in the darkness, the light flickering. Do you pass your light off, or do you lead the way?
I'll lead the way.
As you're walking down the hallway, you encounter a scene in the floor. All the doors are open to the rooms, both sides. Bodies are lined almost like perpetual speed bumps, leading down deeper into the hallway. Their heads missing. Shoulders pressed flush together. And as you step forward deeper and deeper, shining your light this way and that, in the doorframe, you hear soft dripping sounds.
God give me strength. I'm going to turn and look.
You see a head impaled into the wall, just in the inside, right above the light switch. And right above the light switch, written in blood, it says, "No." And you hear...
With a K.
What?
You said no?
It said "No" right above the light switch, written in blood.
With an N or with a K?
N-O.
Okay. I was like...
Deeper towards the flashlight, you hear a scraping sound. Not like fingertips, but together. The same kind of sound that sharp nails could make, a bat could make, a hook could make. Deeper towards the light.
I think as I kind of continue towards this new light source, Father David will pray for strength. For God to, give him one last good push to get this light.
Okay.
And I think I'd like to try and trigger my moment. Being able to get to this light, I'll know that God is with me.
That he has cleared the path and provided safety. All right. Daniel is attempting Father David Thorne's moment. What is your moment?
I will find hope when I recognize the hand of God at work.
Okay. Roll it. Okay.
2.
You do have 6s. I do not. You succeed. Ones do still get removed. Yep. Okay. Go ahead and light that and tell me what your moment of hope looks like.
Father David's moment of hope is holding his crucifix in his left hand right against his heart while he just bravely walks down this hallway, just kind of muttering prayers to himself, feeling the strength of God coursing through him, having faith that God will see him through to this successful accomplishment of this task. Show him the way to light.
You reach the flashlight. It's a staff flashlight. It's 2-hand, very powerful economy, very nice. The flashlight enthusiasts go fucking crazy over this shit, right? You reach the flashlight and you pick it up and you feel the Lord's hand guide you to aim it down the hallway deeper. Where the hook, where the bat,
The noise
where
is
the
coming
scraping is coming from. And you hit this pocket of infinite darkness and you hear this hiss. No! And this darkness flutters away as quickly as flight.
Get thee hence, demon! The power of God is with me now. You shall have no purchase here.
From behind you guys in the hallway, in unison, you hear what you can only imagine are the sustained, impaled heads say, "There is no God down here," echoing through the dark hallway.
So I guess I come back to everybody else still clutching.
Well, they're right
Oh,
behind
okay.
you at this
I
point.
was
You're
like-
not leaving them without light.
We should get out of here.
I agree with that.
And I take the flashlight and I hand it to Mike.
Okay.
And I say, go with God, my friend. He will protect you.
Okay.
Cool. All right. What are you guys doing? This hallway is
Chanting at us.
speaking in unison, stereo echoing down. I mean, this is killer surround sound.
Oh yes, it's great. It's great.
There is no God down here.
There's
You wanna-
still a barrier if we wanted to go back up, right?
No, you guys had cleared the barrier to go down.
Yeah, but like if we wanted to go
If you want to go up, like way up, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
I mean, you could always go through the ballroom again.
Why not?
Nah. Hard pass. Hard pass.
Good. I'm good.
We should head down to the 3rd floor.
What's down there? It's better than what's here. Never mind. Let's go.
Yes, I don't think anything down there could be as bad as it is here. Let's get moving.
You guys know the area the best. Lead the way.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys
So-
head back to the stairwell
Yeah.
and down to the 3rd floor.
I
Which
guess
into-
I'm holding the flashlight now.
Oh, okay. Pass
Do you
those to
want-
Mike. He's so brazenly leading the way.
I did get a 6.
Just one?
Yep.
Okay, I too have a 6.
Okay.
I don't like this whole tie-in thing.
Ties go to the runner. Well, you guys just roll more 6s. That's the easy solution. Any ones?
Thank
Just
you.
one.
Okay.
Don't suck at dice.
All right, you guys hit the landing for the 3rd floor. It's a little bit different. People disembark from the side of the ship on the 3rd floor when you arrive at destinations. So there's a bigger landing, and then there's restricted access areas to get back into the crew quarters. We're just going to say that this ship has like a key card kind of system. You guys get back down to the 3rd floor, and I'm going to say that because Jay has her backpack and kind of her change of clothes and stuff, she actually does have a key card. So you guys are able to arrive back down. You hit the landing, and there's an unusual sight at the kind of disembark station. Normally there's at least like 2 security guards that hang out here and make sure no jackass kind of opens the side door to the ship while it's kind of putzing along. There are no security guards. There are their clothes laid out perfectly on the ground as if they had kind of laid them down, like as if the guards were just laying down. Mm-hmm. And there is as you shine the flashlight, a sort of sidewalk chalk around where bodies should be. The sidewalk chalk is drawn with blood.
Awesome.
And
Seems legit.
as you kind of shine your flashlight around, you kind of just looking around, making sure that everything's kind of still secure. When you slide the key card, it takes a couple times, which makes you really nervous at first, but you open the door, and this feedback loop over the intercom is actually breathing. Someone is holding down the button and just breathing into the intercom. What do you do?
So, can I check the security guards' clothes to see if they still have their pepper spray on them?
You absolutely can.
Proceed.
I got a 6.
I did not.
Awesome. So, knowing what I know about what security guards have on their person,
Has Jay been pepper sprayed once before?
It was a crazy party.
She probably dated one.
That's fair.
oh, who knows?
That's where they met.
It was a fun night.
Listen, it was baha.
So I check the clothes, and I find that they both still have their pepper spray. I'm gonna pick them up and take them with me as I head into whatever is waiting in the crew quarters.
Deal. So, you grab pepper spray. You guys return as Mike finally gets the damn door open after he swipes the card. I'm gonna have him roll to tell me what the hallway looks like.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Gotta press deeper into the ship.
I got a 6 and 2 1s. And of course, my moment is stuck on top.
Mine is too.
What are your moments?
They're pretty similar. Mine's
Yeah.
protect someone, and I think hers is save someone.
Yeah, mine's help or save someone.
Deal. All right, I did not get a 6. You open the door. You open the door and peer down the long crew quarters hallway.
Uh-huh.
What do you see?
All's clear.
Looks good. Let's go.
There's a helicopter?
Describe it a little bit. Describe the scene. Besides, looks good.
So the cruise quarters, I imagine, are probably pretty packed together as far as like
Oh, you better believe it.
the doors go. Like if the regular cabins are small and cramped, like
Probably even like bunk beds.
Yeah.
I've heard stories. I've seen Reddit.
I've watched a documentary.
Yeah.
So I imagine just like door. And as when you shine the light down, we're able to see kind of like down to a wall. But as we walk down this hallway, though we're passing door after door, the wall never gets closer.
Okay. So you guys walk like this for probably 30, 45 seconds. And
You can count the doors
and
to where it should be.
And you're looking, and the numbers say 306, 307, 308, 308, 308, 308, and they just keep repeating.
What kind of trickery is this? Ships are finite spaces. They don't go on.
Does that fancy key card get us in any of these doors? Or just yours?
Why are they all labeled 308?
I don't know the answer to that question.
As we turn around, you can see 307.
But
Don't shrug your shoulders. Okay, man.
Let's see what's in room 307.
The door's locked.
Can I try to pick it?
You absolutely can.
So I'm gonna take a bobby pin out of my hair.
Oh, Jay, what a classic hooligan.
I know, right? And I got 1 6.
I got 2 6s, unfortunately. You pull the bobby pin out of your hair, and you're starting to pick this lock. You've picked a lock or two down here, maybe rummaged through someone's personal belongings right before they disembark from the ship forever. No harm, no foul. They never would have missed that anyways. You're starting to pick this, and you've got it about halfway done. Mike and David and Rachel are all noticing the numbers and trying to figure out this mystery. And you feel a hand fall softly on your shoulder, and you hear a whisper in your ear that says, "Not this one."
Did one of you say something?
They've
Not
been-
this one.
oh, I just
Jay shits herself. Roll to shit yourself. No.
Did you get it open?
I'm gonna say that you broke your bobby pin as you were picking it because you were startled so off guard. I mean, it probably doesn't take a lot of pressure to snap that. Well, I guess they would just bend, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just been.
Okay, so it kind of bends awkwardly.
Does it get jammed or something?
I'll say that you're able to unlock it.
Yeah. I think I got it.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I swear someone just whispered in my ear, "Not this one." Wait.
It's all right, Jay. It's a very stressful situation we're in right now.
We can all
I
hear the
understand.
intercom.
What?
We can all hear the intercom. right?
That's intercom throughout the floor.
That's great.
All right, I'm heading in, I guess. Do I roll?
No, you open the door if you want. To the room that someone just said not this one to. But yeah, go for it.
Maybe they said not
She
this
broke.
one because they don't want you to go in there.
What does Jay do?
Jay is gonna open the door.
Okay.
Mike,
Roll
shine the
it.
light in there.
Yep, I'll shine the light in while she opens it.
I got a 6.
Of course you did. I got a 6 too.
Damn it.
Crushing it.
Also, the dice really don't want her to.
So
burn any
you
of her
open the
cards.
door, and you open the door, and the room is pitch black. And you're kind of standing in the door frame, and Mike's shining his flashlight in, and it's not piercing the veil that is the darkness in this room.
So,
I
nope.
don't think this is the right
I'm just
one.
gonna shut the door.
Okay, you shut the door. What do you do?
Let's...
Can you lock that back up?
307 knocks at you.
Oh, that's great. Let's leave.
Through the intercoms, you hear, "Who is it?"
Go away. Nobody's home.
The door creaks open.
Can I, like, pull it shut again? Because I'm still standing in front of the door.
As you go
right?
to, you see 3 clawed fingers kind of grasp it and struggle to shut it, or struggle to pull it open against you.
I'm going to try to relock the door.
Okay, I need you to roll it to slam the door on these fingers. Ah,
I got a 6.
Fastest Bobby.
I did not.
You're the
What
best roller
happens?
we have.
Do you slam fingers in the
I'm
door
going
where
to
they
slam
fall
it.
off?
The fingers just kind of break off.
As the
and
light
they,
hits
like-
them, what happens?
Well, they start to, like, wiggle on their way down. So when the light hits them, they just start to burn from the fingertips down. I successfully am able to get the bobby pin to maneuver and lock that door back up. And I just start backing away from the door.
Nobody's in that room, let's go.
Oh my. That's, You saw that, right?
Yeah, we all saw that.
Yeah,
Yep.
you guys,
Yep.
Okay.
what do you do? You're stuck in this hallway.
Should we try room 308?
Let's go for it. It's our only
Unfortunately, you
option.
keep 307 locked. You need to keep your bobby pin in there.
You make it seem like that's my only one.
Okay, that's fair.
It takes a lot of body
Yeah, no,
to
she just,
hold
like,
your hair back.
pulled it shut and just jammed it in.
Okay, you gonna try 308 while 307 knocks at you?
Yep.
What are your guys' room numbers?
They're I don't know. They're crew. They're probably like 1 or 2.
Okay.
He sleeps on the coal.
All right, so you're gonna go to 308.
Yep.
Roll it.
I did not. miss.
Nobody got 6s, but I don't need to roll 6s. I just do it to thwart you guys. Unfortunately, you did not roll any 6s. Your virtue is up, but you did not roll any 1s. So unfortunately, the scene will end, and I will narrate the resolution. As you try 308, pull a bobby pin out of your hair and you start to pick the lock. Your flashlight goes super dark to where it really only shines hardly as far as even candlelight. You feel darkness closing in on you, and the ship just shudders. Almost like someone just slammed the side of it. You hear breathing over the intercoms. You hear knocking and whispers echoing down the hallway. And back from behind you near the security station, you see a faint glowing light, the same as that of the ballroom. Turn the corner. Darken a candle.
Don't talk to us.
These things are true. The world is dark.
The knocking from 307 keeps getting louder.
You hear a little girl's voice. Aren't you gonna get the door? It's for you.
We feel a little bit of a momentum shift as more power seems to be allocated to the motors.
We hear the scraping again down the hall.
This thing that slammed against the side of the ship not only slammed it, but has seemed to tilt it. So the floors are no longer level. They're at an angle. And we are alive.
You all reach over and kind of brace your hand up against the wall, feeling the momentum of the ship sway, feeling the inertia, a nausea swell over you as your stomach lurches, your vertigo is all fucked up. Everything looks normal, but your brain is under attack by something you cannot see as the ship is tilting. Now, for those of you who haven't been on a ship during choppy weather, looking down a straight hallway, seeing a normal hallway, but feeling the ship sway can make you very sick. And then it hits you. The hook scraping on the walls. The knocking gets louder, the little girl calling to you. Almost surrounded by this nightmare. You can hear the engine thrumming below. Still not sure where you're going, but making pretty good time of it. What do?
Oh, I'm still trying to get into room 3. Wait.
For the sake of the game, because we are switching to a new scene, we're going to switch the kind of pace and kind of change it up. So, I mean, if you want, I'm more than happy to have darkness reveal itself and attack you guys to get you moving.
Okay.
Unless you guys are unable to take these hints.
I'm going to take a few steps towards the little girl.
Towards the glowing light?
Yeah.
That is the little girl's voice? Okay.
Yeah. Little one, what are you doing down here?
Maybe we can steal her light.
This isn't a safe place.
I was looking for you.
I don't think we should talk to it. It didn't work out well last time.
Well,
I
that
want to
wasn't
show
a
you the
little girl.
light.
How do you...
Don't you want to see the light?
It doesn't sound like a nice little girl.
I've got pepper spray.
That sounds great. Let's use it.
It's just a little girl.
Is it though? Is
Girl.
it really?
What is your name?
She has no name.
Yeah, that's not a normal little girl. What floor is
Nope.
the kitchen on? Let's go there.
You are on the opposite side of the ship. Floors
We
away.
can't go any forward. It's just 308 over and over and
You
over.
are nauseous, weak, on empty stomachs.
Look, I'm sure she's fine. I'll just go see what she wants.
I'm gonna shine my light, like, right at that light.
Okay. As you shine your light at the light, there's a brilliant flash. It almost hurts your eyes. And as your eyes adjust, you see the silhouette of a little girl. But it's completely black. There is no face. There's hair, but it's just a black cutout.
It's more like
You better stop that or you'll be sorry, mister.
Maybe don't stop. Maybe she'll just blow up.
3.
what do you want from us?
I just want to play.
Let's play hide and seek. You go hide and we'll go find you.
I like it much better when I find you. Just like now. You think you're tricksy, but I know how to find you. This is our home now.
She could arrest her walking down the hallway.
Did you shine? You still have your light on her?
You still got that pepper spray?
Yeah, I do, and I've got my knife in my other hand.
Mister, you need to stop. No light, or he'll hurt you.
Who's he and what's wrong with light?
2,
What's wrong with light?
1. The scraping hook is almost behind you now.
I'm gonna flip around and swing with the knife as I shine the light behind me.
Roll it.
They call it the slice and dice.
The slice and light.
I got 2 6s.
I got 0 6s, sir. What happens? You got any ones?
Nope.
Give me them ones.
No.
Give me
ones.
them ones. I need your ones. I feed off that.
I don't know.
Is this your moment?
I think it can be, yeah, because my moment is to
help save us.
protect
And
us.
Jay is in the back.
So I think I'll.
So I think this is difficult because you rolled it before it was your moment. So you're... Alright, so what happens when you turn and slice? Thinking with your answer, because
Right.
you have control of the narrative, build towards your moment with this.
Build towards my moment.
Build towards your next check, your next conflict, which is your moment, right?
Okay. I think the shadow grabs Jay as she's still kind of trying to work on that lock. And so I think I will attack it with, I'm imagining it kind of similar as that girl. It's more of the absence of something there.
I would probably say this bigger thing, if you don't mind, would be a lot more like Roadhog
Right.
than
It's a big shadow.
like the little girl.
But
But it's not a shadow either.
it's more of the absence of something. It blocks the light doesn't penetrate it, but you can kind of see around the edges of it that, a defined shape, or
Almost like a physical creature.
yeah.
Was kind of my vision. It is your control.
Yeah, well, I think we're on the same page.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
there's almost like this giant husk creature. It's robust, has a hook, thick hands, grabs hold of her. You immediately feel your arm burning unnaturally. You call out in pain. He turns, hits it with the flashlight. It kind of hides, it shields itself, and you lunge with your knife.
Yep.
You get your first stab off, you kind of slice at it, you cut it, and you just see black just start pouring out. This smoke, this shadowy smoke just start pouring out.
Okay, I'm going to try and actually
It
stab
lowers
it,
its hands and
and I will kind of jab it with the light, jab the physical essence, try and put the light inside it
you
You're gonna poke
to
stabbing
attacking
it with the flashlight.
Yes.
Okay, deal. Mike is a simple man. Roll
He's
it.
got 2 things. He used 1.
Nope, no 1s, no 6s,
Woof. All right.
and that was my moment, so I burn it.
Oh, you failed to achieve your moment. This is sad. This is so sad.
It's been sitting on there since the top one because we thought it would be easy, but
Oh yeah, that is your first one. Oh, I'm sorry.
I still haven't armed on yet.
Yeah.
As you lunge with the flashlight this time, it brought its hands down and yelled at you. As you lunge forward, it grabs your hand brings the hook up to your wrist and pulls down, cutting your hand off at the wrist. You collapse down, almost trying to call out. Shadows overwhelming you. Not quite sure what just happened. Feeling heroic, but utterly waylaid by this abomination. Darken a candle.
By the amount of candles darkened, you can see which side of the table has been rolling well and which side has not.
This is true. These things are true. Sterling just established a truth of this world, not of the game world. All right, there are only 5 candles remaining. Let me get the dice. We are halfway through this game, and the game is only going to get faster from here. These things are true. The world is dark.
Mike's in a lot of pain. A lot of agony.
You don't have to add on to that. I think that's a solid truth.
The little girl is down the hallway giggling.
Laughing at Mike's pain. The abomination is focusing its efforts back on Jay, trying to disrupt her from getting into the room.
The close proximity to the abomination has us filled with just a burning chill. And
We are alive. For now.
Ish.
I don't necessarily think I need to
recap.
hype up what's happening right now. I think you guys are the stuff in the middle of a shit sandwich, so I'll let you guys get right back to it. Keep in mind that in between scenes we try and propel it forward. If you guys are still here at the end of the scene, I would highly recommend using one of your truths to get you the fuck out of here. Cool. Because I'm about to start hitting you with some really nasty, dire conflicts, as Mike just suffered during his moment.
Yeah, we need to get out of here.
What is the plan? Jay has a giant claw arm burning her side, calling out in pain. The darkness does not want you down below.
Is there a stairwell close to us? No, because we walked in another door.
Through the little girl.
Didn't we?
Also, I imagine the hand that got cut off was the one holding the flashlight, since that's the one I
Absolutely.
stabbed with.
Absolutely.
And probably as soon as it hit the floor, the hand just super withered and shriveled.
Sure. I'll take it. I'm less worried about the cool shit right now and more of trying not to
What
kill you guys.
We do, yeah.
We still got 5 more. We're halfway through the story. I'd like to see you guys make it out of here, but obviously we need to earn that.
I'm not familiar with cruise ships at all, so what is around us? What are our options?
You guys are in a hallway
Ships to run
of
away.
shut doors,
Sure,
and on one end
nothing's
you have a
around,
tiny
okay.
little girl,
Cool.
Soul Light or whatever, and on the other end you have an abomination pretty much going ham on Mike and Jay.
I'll take the soul light for 500. I think Father David is going to try and help Jay out of the hook.
Oh, he just got his hand cut off and then he collapsed to the ground. The abomination is not worried about him anymore.
Oh,
Jay.
right, Jay.
Okay,
You
yeah.
said she was hooked.
No, just
She's
by the meat hooks.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Not by the actual hook, but he is grabbing her and forcibly removing her from the doorway.
It's time for middle-aged strength.
Dear Lord, don't fail me now.
I'm going to try and grab Jay and pull her away
Okay.
so that we can try and book it back to the stairs.
Okay.
We have to go through the little girl to get to the stairs.
Yeah.
So as you're doing that, you hear this giggling, this little girl giggling, and she goes, I told him. He was warned. He doesn't play nice.
So
And
imagine
now
you're screaming on
He
the
can't
ground.
play at all, can he? Well, I didn't get any 6s, but neither did you.
So I guess I'll use my vice then.
Yep, you do have 2 1s. So your vice is what?
Afraid.
Afraid. Perfect.
This is a perfect afraid moment.
Yeah. So what are you afraid most about?
Mostly, so I have seen this abomination do incredible physical harm. I haven't seen the light girl do anything, so I am really afraid of what this thing can do. So I want to try to get my friends that I've made recently away from here as quickly as possible.
Deal. Alright. Light it and then reroll.
I'll light it.
And in the flame, take hope knowing that you have a chance. Not a great chance,
I am so very afraid.
but a chance. Roll it. As hope burns brightly.
But not bright enough.
Not bright enough. You reach over and grab Jay. You grab Mike. You kind of shake him. We need to go. You call down to him. He's stunned. He's holding where his hand should be. A forearm that ends in a bloody sort of wrist. You can tell his arm is already shriveling of sorts. And where his hand is a bit of black smoke. Shadowy smoke ebbing from his withered and writhing hand or forearm stub. He stumbles up and starts to charge towards the girl in the opposite end of the direction of the abomination. You guys all frantically screaming, running from this massive figure as he laughs deeply. You all blow right past the girl. You feel this sensation wash over you as you pass through her light. Once again, she has returned just to this glowing orb of light. And as you pass through her, you feel this darkness in your soul. You feel the weight of the entire world wash over you. And in that moment, you see this horrible vision of the world shriveling to nothingness. A grape being reduced to a raisin. What chance do you stand on this cruise ship if this is their plan? As you tear through her, running as fast as possible, you make it back to the security checkpoint, and you hear her from down the hallway, and she says, I love hide and seek. Darken a candle.
I never did like kids.
These things are true. The world is dark.
The barricades leading upstairs have been opened.
So you're already blown past the 5th floor,
Not by us.
but floors up, is that what you're saying?
Floors up are opened.
Okay. Are you there yet, or are you just, is that
No,
just
we're
the truth
at
of the world?
That's the truth of the world.
Okay.
We can still hear the breathing through the intercom, like it's gotten louder even though we're not in that hallway anymore.
So you can hear it almost throughout the ship now?
Yeah.
As if the ship breathes.
That just gave me the chills.
The ship continues to tilt, like at a steeper angle.
And we are alive.
You reach the security checkpoint, and the ship almost feels like it's on its side. If there are holes in the side, you might not even make it to where you're going if this ship doesn't capsize first. These things are very hardy to the weather, but some thing deep down inside of you tells you that while the storm is picking up, this might not be the weather. You don't think the abomination is chasing you, but you sure as fuck don't want to take a peek back down to the hallway and find out. You hear something from above. You hear someone or something ravaging what you can only imagine was the barricades up above. There's an elevator shaft with the doors shut right next to you, and you hear things falling down it and slamming into the bottom behind the doors on the other side in the shaft. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it sounds a little bit more like bodies. You guys reach the security checkpoint again, where you'd been, where you'd stolen the pepper spray. Thud, thud, thud behind the elevator doors. On the backside, in the elevator shaft, you hear a knock.
Well, knocking doors are never good. What do we do now?
We need to get food.
Food?
If
We're
we
really
don't,
worried about food right now?
if we don't get Mike food soon, his adrenaline is going to crash, and he's going to crash.
If you don't get Mike first aid soon, he's going to die.
I don't have a hand.
We need to get Mike patched up.
Here is not
Yeah,
seemingly
this is
feeling
not
the
the
best
safest
place.
spot to do that.
Where is the best place to heal Mike that's nearby?
Well, I think I recall seeing on a map somewhere there was an infirmary. We could try to head there. They might have the proper supplies to try and help Mike.
Do either of you know where that is?
Unfortunately, the maps of the ship only tell you that floor. So you'd have to go floor to floor to find the infirmary. You do know that it's up. Very much up. The
Close to
infirmary
the deck, or-
the infirmary is very close to where a lot of the activities would be, just in case someone hurts themselves. The medical center is going to be very much by the dining area. Which is by the kitchen, luckily.
Hey.
You hear down the hallway, 27, 28, 29.
Let's go. We don't have much
Wait.
time.
If we're headed toward the infirmary, we need to just head up.
Let's go. I don't want to see those things again. Whatever they were.
You guys start running upstairs. You run up the flights of stairs as quickly as possible, Mike's ankle slowing him down so much, his hand making him delirious, Father David almost having to carry him with an arm around the shoulder, Jay leading the way with the book light, as good fucking that does in the darkness, in this horror, this tomb of a ship. Rachel checking every map on every floor, just trying to see if there's anything that might help in case the infirmary is a bust. You guys reach the 5th floor. The barricades are almost cleared. And as you turn the corner just for a look, you see these husks throwing stuff down into the elevator shaft, the open elevator shaft. They turn and look at you in just a moment, kind of dazed by your soft, flickering book light. The light burns their skin, withers it even more, and to seek refuge, they hurl themselves down the elevator shaft away from you.
It's a good thing we at least have the book light.
From down below, you hear scratching. Something is climbing up the elevator shaft towards you guys.
Just keep moving up.
Yeah, we've got to get there. We've got to get away from here.
Rachel, I'm gonna have you roll to find the floor, to find the infirmary, to take us there. Mike is in no shape, and Jay is overwhelmed by what's going on.
I have 1 6, no ones.
Okay, I do have a 6. That's a good roll. 1 6, no ones. That's all you need. That's all you need to keep it going. All right, so you are able to find the infirmary. It's on the 7th deck. You guys start heading back, and you turn. You reach the 7th floor. You're heading towards the rear of the ship. You know the kitchen is nearby on the 5th or 6th floor. We'll make it up when we get there. There's a hallway. Does a quick S-bend, as these cruise ships have, I think, once every 3rd deck. Once every 3rd length. And as you turn the corner, you shine your light and you just see silhouettes going back. A dozen, several dozen deep. There's just shoulder to shoulder people. Silhouettes standing in the hallway. The light catches where their eyes should reflect back. And there's nothing.
Awesome.
At this point in time, you either have to push through or you have to rip a bed sheet up or something to help Mike. But his arm to his forearm is now withered and darkening.
I'll try and find an open room so we can get some sheets.
Okay. This is to either find or create one.
Yeah.
That was not helpful. I have 1 6.
I ain't got shit.
Oh. Now, your brink is the only card available.
Right.
When your brink is the last card, you can cash in your brink if you should so desire to re-roll all of your dice.
Sure.
Now, if you fail this, you do lose your hope die as well.
There's not a lot of hope left in the world right now.
It's either that or darken a candle. What do you do?
I think I'll try to use my brink.
Incorporate it into your scene. You're slamming your shoulder up against the door.
Okay, so my brink is that they have seen me cast aside God and be laid truly bare. So as I'm frantically trying to find an open room with some sheets that we could use to help Mike, I'm just saying things like, if there was a God, something like this wouldn't have happened. If he was merciful, he wouldn't do this to us. He's supposed to love his children. There cannot be a God. For fuck's sake. Why are you guys letting me roll? No dice.
Okay. Burn your brink. You are truly a lost man.
There is no God here. There is no God here.
Darken a candle. As you slam your shoulder into door after door after door, one of these fucking doors should cave in. Mike collapses to the ground. He feels a darkness eating away at his core. He's feeling his hopes and dreams wither away. Your shoulder gives out, and you collapse to the ground as well, crying, damning God. These things are true. The world is dark.
We were able to find some towels to patch Mike up with.
It's more Rachel, I bet.
Well, yeah, I was busy.
We is not you or Mike at all.
It was a group effort.
The figures, the silhouettes have started to moan down the hallway.
And we are alive.
Mike is collapsed. You, Rachel, find a towel set kind of off to the side for somebody, something. You grab it, you race over to Mike. This isn't going to do much. There's not much to tear this apart. This towel is very thick. It can at least do for a pressure dressing. I'm going to have you look at Mike's wound here in a second. Jay, this wall, this bottleneck, this clog of husks seems to be working themselves up. They're not moving towards you, but they're getting very excited by the life frantically scrambling in this hallway. Their moans echo until the intercoms in the ship grow quiet. And then all around you, you hear a little girl's voice say, "You better hide better than that. I'm gonna find you."
Oh, those coming to me.
Yep. You guys found the towels, but you need to roll to heal Mike, and I believe this is your moment.
It is. So my moment is if I can help or save someone. So, do I say what I do for it and then roll for it? I just roll for it.
So you're obviously applying
Roll.
first aid to Mike to try and save
Yeah.
his life
Yep.
with a beach towel.
Yep.
Stranger things have happened. I'm gonna need you to roll it. So a failure in this does not result in, like, Mike's not gonna die when you fail this roll. It's gonna mean that this continues to eat away at him.
Our next stop should be the kitchen. I have 1 6 and no ones.
Okay, I did get a 6. I will narrate your moment. However, you do gain a hope die.
Ooh!
Those are harder than hell to see, I bet. Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah. These other ones are not bad because you can see the pips. Anyways, you grab the towel and frantically apply it to Mike's wrist and put a lot of pressure on there. And you feel your entire frame shudder. As you press down into Mike's stub, you feel his skin and bone bend and writhe until his forearm collapses halfway in. You're finally able to stop it, but his arm pressed in some horrifying manner. You have never seen anything like this before. And you know, in the depth of you, you'll probably never see anything like this again. Well, maybe not. Maybe sooner than later. Maybe. Play your cards right. Mike cries out in pain as his forearm doubles over, collapsing into this mush. Shock overtakes him, and his eyes fade black just for a moment. You slap him to try and keep him awake. Modern medicine at its best. He struggles to rise, kind of gaining his bearings a little bit. The smoky shadow does not ebb from his wound, but you can tell he's in insufferable pain. Burn your card. And take hope, knowing that you have saved Mike's life, if only just for a moment. What do you guys do?
Oh, that's not the end of the scene, is it? 'Cause I succeeded.
Well, it would not be prudent to stay here with these things. We should move on.
And quickly, should we keep heading upstairs?
Maybe if we can get to the bridge, we can find out where we're going. There might be help there.
Is there a bar on the top deck?
Yeah.
Or
Oh, of course there is.
Oh, yeah.
The open air deck is like pretty much half bar. There's like 3 to 5 bars on any cruise ship on the top floor.
well, since adequate pain medication is not a possibility right now, I think we go for the liquid kind and head up to the bar. I don't really see any other valuable option.
It's the best idea I've heard yet.
All right.
Plus, I'm tired of being in these hallways.
Luckily, the top floor is only 1 or 2 decks up. So, who wants to roll to see what happens?
I've been killing
I
scenes.
will.
I have
I
too.
don't. Yeah, I'm gonna say Father
Jenny's the only
David's-
one that's like doing
I'll say
okay.
Father David probably shouldn't. If anything, you guys should look to people with traits to roll who have cards left.
I've
Plus,
got
Jay
it.
was leading the way before too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What
So
is your trait on top?
Street smart.
I got a 6,
6 and a 1. I'd burn a girl.
Yeah.
Street smart.
You can't take it with you.
Just to keep the dice.
Just to keep the 1 die. All right. So you guys are heading up. You reach the top deck. Right.
Yeah.
The shambling mound of husks is kind of getting excited and starting to press in after you guys flee. How would you like to use street smarts to help guide you guys up and to the bar? Obviously, you know the ship, like at least the top decks. You probably worked quite a few shifts up here.
Yeah, so I would be leading the way.
In fact, I can say you can just take them to the bar if you want to tell me.
Yeah, so because I know the way, especially the top deck, we're a couple floors down, so we're running up the stairs, and
How about this? Because you're not terribly cruise ship. Well, you have been on a cruise. I kind of like the idea too that maybe like you peek up and you see kind of just some nastiness, and you know another passageway to get up to the top deck, right?
yeah.
Because then that guarantees you success no matter what. You guys will get there and you'll get to the bar. But I like that with this reroll, you can also kind of navigate using your wisdom to kind of get a little bit less treacherous path. Does that work?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, burn it and then roll it.
Oh.
Well, shit. I would say with this, just take a moment to enjoy the flame. It's going to be some of the last light you guys see for a little while, I think. All right, you guys arrive at the top deck. You guys get to a bar. What happens?
Wait, did you roll?
Yeah, that's the thing, you guys. 0 6s. You have complete control of the narration.
All right.
How do you want to help Mike with the power that you guys might not have much longer?
So we get to the bar and we're kind of crouched down behind it because we don't really want to be seen. Since I'm mostly served food, not alcohol so much, I kind of just grab the nearest bottle, which is probably just some cheap whiskey because they keep the nicer stuff up top. I open it.
I kind of like that Mike's like, no, not that one, this one.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants to get drunk off from. Keep going.
And I open up the bottle for him since he can't really. And I just hand it to his free hand.
All right, what happens? Obviously, you probably take a healthy swig. You're a
Mike
big dude.
takes a healthy swig. I don't get it. Why is this happening to us?
Because the world has sinned and God has turned his back on us.
Rachel's gonna reach up and grab another bottle and open it and take a giant swig and then pass it to the father, hoping he takes a giant swig as well.
He does.
As you reach and kind of meet hands on the bottle, you take it from her and the ship lurches again. You feel the inertia in your stomach. You almost throw up from the alcohol mixing with the lack of food, mixing with the nausea. And then you hear the cruise ship horn blare. You know that it generally does this as it approaches land.
I don't know if I hate that or like that.
She takes another drink. You guys hit a few bottles hard. You also hear sounds nearby. You hear scratching, clawing. The wind has picked up and it is raining. Luckily, you're under one of the awnings. There's a section above you. It's kind of an open air mini golf course / track. What do you guys do?
Can I see if there are any matches or anything at this bar?
Absolutely.
I don't know if smoking is allowed on cruise ships. I'm assuming
There's
not.
definitely like a
There's something
smoker's
for, like,
lounge.
yeah.
There's definitely a smoker's lounge. We'll say that it's nearby.
Well, there's probably even like a little barbecue lighter to
Oh yeah,
for their flaming shots and stuff.
Yeah, I just want a lighter or matches or something that I could set something on fire for light.
While she's searching, Father David steps out kind of into the rain, just like arms up, staring at the sky, and he just yells, "Is this what you want? Is this your cleansing fire?"
I got a 5 on my hope dice, and then a 6 on one of the other ones.
Okay.
And no
5 on
ones.
your hope die is a success.
2 successes.
So you have 2 successes. I'll roll my dice. Okay, I have 0 6s. So you have control over the narration. What do you find?
Let's bar. What can I find in bar? I want to say that I find one of those lighters that they use
Okay.
for their like flaming traps and stuff, and then one of their can I find one of their bags of peanuts that they use to refill their peanut bowls?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I
So
want
there,
those as well.
yeah, so there's like finger food.
Yeah.
There's just like 3 bags of finger food.
Yeah, I just throw them down to where everyone's on the ground. And then I find the lighter, and my goal with the lighter is I want to like set a fire, I guess. I don't want to necessarily draw too much attention to ourselves, but I also want more light art. I can't believe our book light is still on.
So you do have the towel that you've been using as a pressure
Yeah.
dressing. You could definitely put that like at the end of a mop handle or a broom or something and kind of create a makeshift
Yeah,
half
so
a
with
second.
alcohol.
Yeah, I
Like
was
a half
like,
a second torch. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can definitely make a torch. It won't last that long because
Yeah.
it's going to burn up. It's not torch material, you
can I
know.
make a
So
Molotov cocktail and throw it somewhere?
You absolutely can.
Uh-huh.
In fact, there's shadows shifting everywhere. So you have plenty of imaginary or real targets. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, we have the towel, but I also have the clothes in my backpack
That's true too.
that,
Yeah.
If anything,
We
you could
could-
make 2 torches or
yeah, so maybe like just if we, I don't know how well it would hypothetically work, but we have these bottles, these glass bottles, we could rip up clothes, light them, like, and stick them in the empty bottles and each have
there you go.
sort of a light.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to have someone kind of take lead on this and roll it. I'm assuming it might be Rachel because, well,
No,
you
no,
have
I-
your moment. What's your moment?
My moment is,
Oh, good luck.
Yeah.
well, actually,
Now,
I
here's the
have
thing
an
is too, yeah, I
idea.
have.
So, like, when I reach into my backpack to find, to get the clothes and stuff, I notice my little waitressing, notepad, which I usually keep the picture of me and my brother taped on the inside.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, this is a moment that can pass or fail, so it will depend on if it's in there.
yeah.
So I'm going to have her roll for her moment
Yeah.
first.
No, you don't get that
Yeah,
one
you don't give her the
instead.
hope die.
Well, I mean, I would like to.
All right.
the
So
one
as
with
you're
the
going
Molotov.
through your backpack, preparing torch material, Molotov material, you get the idea that it's fucking bleak as hell out here. The ship is. I mean, this is going to be your death.
yeah.
And maybe in this moment of darkness, maybe there's a moment of light. Roll it. You need a 6.
Son of a...
I see 2 2s.
Yeah.
I don't even need to worry about rolling. You will burn your moment, and then we'll darken a candle. You will find hope when you find a picture of you and your brother. And in this moment, you start frantically ripping apart your backpack. You can pull that out and light it up again if you want.
Yeah, it went out.
Yeah. It's just
You frantically grab. Steady. You frantically empty your backpack. And your picture's not there. You feel the wind blow in a fresh torrent of rain that washes over you. And you're just wet, miserable, alone on this fucking ship. I have a darkening candle just for the reach. You want to try to reach your kids?
I feel like I got a lot darker.
Right? Which is.
One tea light.
These
I've been
things are
watching
true.
this. I love it.
These things are true. The world is dark.
We are approaching some port.
And we are alive.
As Jay starts frantically ripping through her backpack, she just starts frantically muttering, "Where is it? Where is it? No, it's gotta be here, it's gotta be here, where is it?" Ripping through her clothes, emptying every pocket. She's frantic. Hope is waning. The darkness is washing over you. Rain coming down from the infinite void. The ship lurching violently. Alcohol warming you, dulling your pain, dulling your wits. A soft glow of light appears on the top deck, and you just hear, "I found you!" You guys have alcohol bottles nearby. There's some of them have shattered from the ship's lurching. There's alcohol, the stench of it permeating the air. You guys have your towels, your torches, your makeshift Molotovs waiting to be built, waiting to be thrown at your enemy. This false light in the sea of darkness. Gathered behind the bar, you're not entirely sure how much she knows where you are, or if she's just aware that you're up here. But you don't have much time to do whatever you want to do. What is that? What is this moment for the four of you?
I'm gonna reach for the nearest bottle that actually has alcohol in it and take one of the, I would like to, and take one of the rips of clothes she made before she went frantic in her backpack. And I want to light a Molotov and throw it in the direction of this light. And if this ends the scene right here, guys, I'm so sorry.
I think it's fair.
I got 1 6 and no ones.
You definitely got 2 6s.
Stop that, Martin.
So you grab this Molotov, this makeshift. Unfortunately, Rachel's an EMT and not a freedom fighter. She lights this little bit of cloth, and as the ship crashes against something, perhaps a rock, perhaps another ship adrift in the sea, she drops it. She chucks it but not very far, and alcohol spews. The Molotov strikes the deck near this glowing child, but fire catches on top of the bar, and it's quickly running down to the ground where all the shadowed bottles are. You guys have moments to scramble out of your hideout, leaving behind whatever wasn't in your hands. You guys scramble into the darkness, into the rain, as fire lights up the deck. You see the little girl, her silhouette appears, flickering in the firelight. That's not very nice.
I don't care.
You will when you're in trouble. What do you guys do? Out of weapons. Stranded in the rain.
Well, I think Father David has just about lost it.
I think his character cards reveal that as much.
So, I think seeing her outlined in the flames and being away from imminent danger, he is just going to walk towards her, just like spouting end of days rhetoric, just like full Bible bashing sermon.
Favorite quotes from Revelations.
And which of the 4 horsemen are you come to claim my soul for your dark master? Why do you come and assault us here?
You hear the storm crackle. And her dark silhouette grows in size until it's the same size as you. And in a moment, in the infinite insanity that is the world, that is David's mind, you think you see the face of God.
And I throw my Bible at him.
Roll. Let's see what happens.
Sorry, because I have one solo from you.
I literally cannot.
That's 2 3s, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why I rolled, but I did.
You did get a Yahtzee?
I didn't get a 6. It's hard to fucking see what you got. Alright, so you did not roll any 6s. You have no cards, which give you no options. You must darken a candle. You throw your Bible at this entity, this blasphemer, this construct, this Antichrist. And your book hits this aura squarely. And it hovers for a moment. It starts to glow with a bright purple flame. It explodes in this brilliant flame. This moment you feel basked by the grace of God. And then there's darkness. And you realize that it wasn't the grace of God that you just felt. It was the utter absence of Him in this moment where you needed Him most. These things are true. The world is dark.
And we are alive.
A few seconds. So I think standing in front of this thing, feeling the absence of God and watching my Bible burst into flames, I am just going to keep closing towards it, continuing with the rhetoric.
As you approach, I'm going to have you roll to see what happens.
That's a 5.
It's a 5, yes it is. Alright, we are down to 1 die as there is 1 candle remaining. If you fail to roll a 6, Daniel will now narrate his death scene. I'm going to set it up and then you finish it. Once we are in the final stand, as a reminder, all of your characters will meet their end here. Go in a way that suits them, that suits the story. As you approach this void, you hear a soft voice, the voice of your mother. And she says, David, come. It's time to see the light. It's time to embrace the light.
Treachery and curses, you foul demon! You speak lies. Your existence is a lie. You would take the face of my Lord, my Savior, in front of me to tempt me? Though I may walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And then I just continue to step into it.
And what happens when you step into it?
As Father David steps into this aura of the shadow, it's, if you were to look at it from a profile, kind of from the side, you would just see the withering hit him as like an aura. It would just hit and just slowly progress across his skin as the momentum of his step carries him in. And by the time his inertia has carried him to the middle of the darkness, there's just kind of ash just falling. Withered so far that there's nothing left.
And the breeze carries his ashes away. What do you guys do?
So Jay sees that happen, and she runs to the side of the boat and kind of sees like some sort of land or a port in the distance. So she thinks to herself, I could probably swim that.
And survive the landing. Yeah. Alright, so she's gonna jump overboard. Mm-hmm. Roll it. Hell, whatever this is better than this ship, I'll promise that.
It's 5.
Alright. Fortunately, you did roll a 5.
So
What happens?
Jay, she climbs over the railing thinking, you know, I can do this. It's not too far away. I can swim.
I love the idea too that Jay's always wanted to jump over the edge, like just as a thrill seeker.
And so she takes a deep breath. She plunges in. And it takes a second for her to fall, but she hits the water. And for a moment, she's surprised. Okay, I made it. This is good. And all of a sudden, she starts feeling like a suction. But she's getting pulled into something. It's not this darkness. She knows that. But as she tries to swim away, she's held underwater. Her oxygen's running out. She's beginning to drown, and the suction from the boat's motors pull her towards it, and she gets caught.
By the engine, by the motors.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Shit.
That's not good.
That's a pretty shitty way to
Blood
go.
pools up to the top of the water. If you look over the edge, you can actually see it.
So Jay runs and jumps over the side, trying to make it. You hear no splash, only the rain and the infinite void beyond the ship. The ship slows, slowing almost to a stop. We're here. What do you guys do?
When we left the bar because it was on fire because of me, could I say that I still had a bottle in my hand?
Absolutely.
Cool. So I still had a bottle in my hand. So it has some left in it. It's the one that I've been drinking, so it's probably like half gone. So I would like to take a giant drink from it, and then whatever cloth I have. I guess all I have is a shirt. I'm gonna either rip my shirt. If I can't do that, I'm just gonna take it off and shove it into the bottle and light it with the bar behind me that is on fire, and I want to try to throw it at the girl again in a last-ditch effort of nothing's gonna happen, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Roll it.
Oh, I have this one too. I can't see
Oh yeah, your hope
anything
die.
over here, guys. Well, that's a 3, and that's a 1,
Too far away.
and I have a vice of impulsive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna burn
This
it.
seems very impulsive to me. She might have you re-roll your die while your card's on fire just so we can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, did I just snuff it out? No, I didn't. Okay. What is that? Nope. Oh! That's a 6!
That is a 6.
Nice.
You have to roll.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I've got that's not a roll. That's a roll. Yep, I got 3 6s.
Figured as much.
I've got 9 dice. It's just statistical at this time. Although for you guys, your first scene. Anyways, you throw this Molotov cocktail, and it strikes this little girl, this glowing orb. True. This silhouette explodes with fire.
Awesome.
And in that moment, it is beautiful. This fire clinging to this black, shadowy frame. It silhouettes this figure gorgeously as the pupil of this fiery eye. And it stares at you without any features, just this black frame stares at you. And you just hear, "You must be the funny one."
Sure.
"Don't you want to play? We can play forever."
I'll play with you.
"You don't play by the rules."
Well, let's play a different game then. If you win, I'll let you show me the light. Rachel, you need to get out of here.
And go where?
Down to the shore. I don't know. Just live.
No.
And I start running off and I yell, Polo!
Marco!
Polo!
Roll it.
Alright. I got a 6.
Holy shit.
Attaboy.
Yeah, I got 3 6s.
Cool.
Yep. So you start running, And where are you heading?
Um,
Just tell me briefly, and then I'll kind of narrate some
Just-
follow-up.
away.
Are you heading
I think I'm heading towards
the back of the ship? Okay. So there's a really nice deck that gives you a great view. It's like an adults-only kind of lounge. It's like an open-air bar. You start heading towards the back because you know that there's a bar back there that you could maybe get some more stuff from or whatever. You're lumbering, terribly weak. Your arm is killing you, and the withering, although it hasn't moved physically up your arm, your right arm feels infinitely heavy. Horribly contaminated, just your chest hurts with this darkness that's coursing through your veins. And as you're running, you keep yelling back. And you don't hear the phrase being repeated back to you. You were yelling out Polo, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
You turn the corner thinking, I just ran too far maybe. Ran too fast. And you start frantically searching the bar, thinking that maybe she's right behind me. And you give out one more, Polo! And you hear the abomination around the corner go, Marco. As his hook scrapes across the top of the bar.
I had one last thing in my hand when I ran out of there. And that was a whiskey bottle. I smack it, shatter it, and I attack him.
Roll it.
He's gonna bottle the abomination.
Oh my god, I think it's the 6.
That's a 6. Sterling can roll 6s when it's a 1 die,
Yep.
not when there's 10 of them.
I have good news for you, Sterling. I don't have a single 6.
What?
What happens?
I think I got a really lucky strike, and with that bottle in it, went right into where the neck of this abomination would be. Black smoke starts
Just pouring from his
pouring
throat.
from it. And I don't know from there.
So this creature reaches up and grabs his throat, and he's flailing wildly at you, striking wildly. You kind of cut, gave him the Colombian necktie, if you will, and then backed away quickly. The glass bottle shatters. You're scrambling frantically, trying to avoid this hook, just backing up. You feel yourself back into a sort of U-shaped block, a U-shaped dead end. You can try and hop over the bar. You're a big guy and it's a tall bar. You can try and run through this guy as he's distracted. But he's stumbling towards you, holding his throat shut. You see this smoke billowing out. He's breathing heavily, choking on this darkness that is seeping from him. What do you do? How do you escape?
I think I'm gonna try and bull rush him, run past him. Hurt ankle and all.
Roll it.
A
That is a
1.
1.
I mean, I can burn something, but at this point I think I'm good.
What was that?
I said I could burn my vice, but at this point I think...
It is your call. I think this is, story-wise, a great way to go.
I think so too.
But it is ultimately your call, as the rules.
No, I think I'm gonna call it here, so...
Okay. You've got this abomination holding his throat, slashing his hook wildly at you. What do you do?
So as I run into him, I kind of give him a shoulder, and I stumble, kind of roll over upon myself. But the abomination doesn't hurt me. But as I pick my head up, there's a faint little light in front of me, and it just goes, Marco. And I think that's about the last you'll see.
The camera just
Mike.
does a wide pan out, or wide pull out. Yeah, perfect. All right. We cut over to Rachel.
Yeah. So the little girl's not over by me anymore. She followed.
We see Rachel frantically running through the decks, lost, confused, in pitch black. The camera opens to a black scene and just hears you frantically huffing as you're running, terrified, crying, lost. You run for minutes, 15 minutes. You're not entirely sure. Time doesn't make sense right now. You're just running. You trip over dead bodies. You scramble back up. You trip over luggage. You scramble back up. You clip your shoulder on a door frame. You get back up. You're just running in the darkness, frantically scrambling, trying to find a way out. What do you do?
I try to go back to the 3rd floor, because that's the only exit I know of. Right? That's where everybody disembarks.
That's where people disembark at, usually at the islands, just because some of the smaller islands can't do the... I think that's where all ships embark and disembark, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Usually.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Unless they're
that's
important
where I'm
Skyways,
gonna
but
go.
All right. So this is to find your way to the exit.
If I don't find that, I'm just gonna jump down that. What is that? I have a 4 and a 2. I failed.
As you're running along, well, I think you can pretty much go wherever you want and end your character however you want. So what is the finale of our story?
I would think that the little girl has found her Rachel. She's not being quiet while she's running.
And time
She
has
doesn't-
passed.
and she doesn't
so-
probably have any. She might still have the reading light. Probably not. I don't know what she even has with her to see anything by.
Well, yeah, you were in pitch black, so.
So I think the little girl would find her, but Rachel's right near one of the elevator shafts that had the door open, but it's just pitch black inside of it, and I think she would choose to jump down that because she would rather whatever's on this ship. She hates the little girl the most,
Yo.
so she's just gonna jump.
All right, so you find yourself kind of frantically searching. You're at a stairwell, and a glowing soft light comes around the corner and says, "Last but not least." And you kind of look and you see her, and you realize that you're in the same stairwell as where you had tried to save Michelle, you and your companions. You back up to the wall as this orb comes in closer. You're looking around frantically for a solution. Can I make it to the 3rd floor? It's only 2 flights down. I'm so close, yet so far. And she starts getting closer and closer to you, blocking off the stairwells. You look to your left and you see this open elevator shaft. Maybe, just maybe. And she reaches out her hand. She says, "We can play forever." What do you say back to her?
Not this time.
And you turn and you run and you jump and you fall and fall and land. Bones cracking. You feel your life slipping out of you. You see the light go to the top of the stairs. You see her look down the elevator shaft. Such a shame. Your friends were so fun to play with. I guess the game is over. These things are true. The world is dark. That concludes our story of 10 Candles Adrift.
Is this thing on? This is Father David Thorne of the Third Episcopal Church. I just want this message to go out to my loyal parishioners. It's been a great privilege of mine to be able to serve you, and I just want to remind you, in the event I don't get to always go with God. And if worse comes to worse and I'm not able to return, I'll see you on the other side.
Hey guys, this is Rachel Jones from Mercy Hospital. This is to Justin. If they don't find this, make sure you keep our crew together. Tell my brothers and sisters that I love them. And watch out for Whiskers and Captain Fuzz for me. Their favorite treats are on top of the fridge. But hopefully I'll be kicking it on some island here. So, see you guys soon.
Hey everyone. It's Mike Caraway. You know, a lot of weird stuff has been happening recently. And I think we're just kind of fed up with it. We're gonna take this shit back. We're gonna be safe. Don't worry about us. We'll see you soon.
Jimmy, it's Jay. I know the world never really gave us much, but we always had each other. I'm sorry if you think that I left you. I didn't. I had to get out of there. I just had to. But, you know, if I make it out of here, we'll find each other. But, again, when has the world ever given us what we really wanted?
All right. Okay, we'll go ahead and clap back in. Go ahead and just edit back out to where we kind of paused wrapping up moments.
Hi, future Martin.
Hello, you son of a bitch.
You know what you did.
You owe past Martin money. Somehow. All right, we're going to get right back to the game now.